we finished it to the point where we realized we cannot kill the guy in the High Ruins unless we get other artifacts to cancel his charm.
From the other ruins.
Because he's wearing a crown.
Oh, right. So, so this is a new adventure.
It's a new adventure. We're going to call it a new adventure. I'm going to go over and I'm going to count some clevers. My character is clever. Rusty, is your character clever?
Yes.
And Laura's character is clever, or are you playing a different one, Laura?
I only got the one.
Okay. And Mike, is your character clever?
He is.
And Conrad, is your character clever?
I can't remember.
Okay. 1.
Yes, he is clever.
And we have methodicals. I'm a methodical. Rusty, are you methodical?
Let's see. Am I methodical? Let's see. Yes. In fact, I'm all 6 traits.
That is wonderful. And Laura, are you methodical?
Yes.
Terrific. And Mike, are you methodical?
I am. I'm only 5 traits. I don't have rugged.
And Conrad, are you methodical?
No, I am not, but I am clever, as I mentioned.
Terrific, yes. So we have the 5 clevers and the 4 methodicals. So I have upgraded our boat. Our boat looks outstanding. It always does to start, and then it has problems later on. We are over on the Caucasus region map, and we are close to Barda. Every phase will be phase C to get us to any location. We are trying to build up the city of Rostov. I should get an icon by now. We still need to reestablish the river routes between the Biblosite steppes and the Shanka gorge. We have...
Be right back.
We have dealt at least one setback to the Saurians, but they still thrive all around the Caspian. And we know that many of the cities now would support our rise to dukedom, if not outright kingdom, in this area. The big question mark is whether or not we can acquire 2 more relics out of 4 from the dry ruins and the wet ruins. And by doing so, we can certainly have a greater chance of canceling the charm that the necromancer is using in the high ruins, which would also make the dwarven kings very happy to get rid of him. And that's pretty much a summary of what's happened. There's enough that's going on in Rostov as well, but I will spare you all if you're interested. We can rehash at a time. But I'm going to start with Rusty. Rusty, do you see the ship next to Barda?
I do.
Well, what would be the next objective on the table? Do you want to go cross lands to dry ruins? Did you want to sail someplace else?
Let's sail to the wet ruins as long as our longboat is so good. And we'll lose stuff, probably.
What level is your character, Rusty?
7.
7. Give me a roll of a 7 on 2 dice.
Roll of a 7. Let's see here. 13.
So the wet ruins are going to be the most dangerous of the 4 ruins. That doesn't mean you guys can't handle them. And there doesn't appear to be any sort of order that you need to beat all of these in. The high ruins need to be re-explored and re-attacked once you bring all the relics together. But the wet ruins has the flail. So the whoever is wielding that thing is going to be dealing some deadly blows when you meet them. If you wish, you can bring the wand, which I think we left in Itil, and that wand will help lessen some of the impact, at least give you the equivalent of a saving throw to survive being struck by the flail of Egypt. Or you can try exploring the dry ruins and see if you can pick up the sandals that are there. But both underworlds are pretty ruinous.
Okay. Unless there's some other comments, I'd say we go for the flail and wet ruins.
Here comes the card. It's a knight. It's a bane, though. Do we have anyone in our crew that we should? Does anyone have any Kevin/Tonys that can be sacrificed right here? Anyone hoarding any of them?
No, but I guess I can strike off this note that I'm drunk.
Yes, you certainly can restore your wounds and restore your status. Although I will not restore my status as cowardly.
Oh, I'm wrong. I'm not level 7. I'm level 8.
Level 8. Your roll is even better with 8 make rolls. Let's go ahead and since we don't have a Kevin to strike off with that knight, let's fight a little battle while we're here. Let's get back in the mood of Outlands/barony, and let's fight 4 equivalents with a defensive modifier of 2. That should be something that should be easily knocked down. And we're going to call these guys enchanted. Somebody has sent 4 enchanted men after us. That probably is the necromancer in the high ruins. I have his name somewhere, although it sort of escapes me at the moment. See if I can pull that up so we have a true evil guy. Necromantic lore.
Fent-Ankhet?
Yes.
Fent-Ankhet. Here, I'll put that in the chat.
Fent-Ankhet has sent some of his minions to stop us in our pursuit of the other 3 artifacts. He probably does not know we already have one. And he has sent 4 enchanted creatures. Conrad, are you with us, or you?
I am with you.
What is one of the features of these 4 enchanted creatures he sent at us? Now, notice we're in a boat in the water, so
They are winged.
Winged, gargoyle winged, or a dragon winged?
More dragon wingy.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and everyone's going to take actions on the dragon attached to the wing table. And until we successfully, each of us, move off of that table, we won't take any other actions to try to kill the 4 people we're fighting. So we're going to start the first flip of the game with...
Conrad, is the only one I'm seeing on that is a zone of terror. Are we going to need red to...
Yeah,
I can
remember
always
putting in.
put them up if you need it.
Okay, is the dragon... which book is the dragon table in...
It's in the fundamentals book on page 269, Dragon Wing. I think this would work for us.
All right.
Success to gain tactics pip, success to move to the top body plates, which would mean move into the main battle, etc. So, Rusty, first card flip for you. It's on a Q&D, so you just suffer wound. We get the Wheel of Fortune. I shuffle 3 more times, and Rusty, your card is an ace on the winged table. I will.
Non-inverted, I should mention.
I know it is not a bane. It is probably a good card for you. And here I am posting in the chat for you. Huh? Somebody found it. Go ahead, Rusty.
Let's see. Wave your blade, beguile the serpent, twisting the metal to create flashes of distracting hypnotic light. Success and continue grappled to the top neck spines. Difficulty 11, advantage blade golden.
Okay, Rusty, you're rolling 3 times since you're level 8. You get that 11, blade golden. Defensive modifier I said was 2, so a 13.
Let's see, blade golden do not have, but I do have cosmic glorious.
Cosmic Glorious will cover, as will the longboat's battle hard. So,
or the question is, when I'm doing this, whether I should try and get the golden sword blade with 3 rolls.
What would Tony do?
There's no wounds, so the worst that happens is you're
Yeah.
stuck on this table. So you may as well go.
Yeah, I think we try and get, and that's 1.
I was about to say you have 8 make rolls. I don't know why you wouldn't just make roll if you had a desire for that. But see if that third one comes through.
Didn't matter.
That is a fail, sadly. So we're going to move on.
Well, at least I got rid of them.
Here we go to Conrad. Conrad,
Rusty
you
didn't
have
know
a
what to do
knight
with
on
the
the
ace.
table.
Rusty did not know what to do with the ace in that regard. I think I'm waiting on you, Mike. There we go. Good. Drop down rather than being haphazardly flung between the back scales and spine plates. Success and continued grapple to the top body plates, but fail and suffer a vicious wound. Difficulty 12. That'd be a 14. Charismatic style C, as in Charlie. I do not have that, so I will, of course, use a make roll.
Conrad is loosed on the 4 creatures.
But you rolled a 3 on your make roll. Sorry, the sum number says 3. The sum number is wrong.
It's counts. It was 3 counts.
Oh, okay.
And
you see,
we'll
what
go...
it's doing is it's an exploding dice thing.
And here goes your card, Laura. Laura, you are getting a 9.
Okay.
9. Let's see who gets that first. There you go.
Survey the entire creature and even amuse yourself and others by enjoying the wild ride. Yeah, sounds like me. Success and gain command pip and catbird seat. If character has technique mount winged, difficulty decreases by 3. Do I have that? I do have that. So difficulty would be 10 and advantage trait bold, which
Plus 12 to Death Moth 2.
Okay, so it's a 12 and 3 dice, because I am bold.
12 on 3 dice, rolling 3 times, right?
I'm level 8.
Yep.
Yeah, it's 3 times.
Didn't need the 3.
Didn't need the 3, of course not. You have given us all the command pip, plus you are +3 yourself as the catbird seat next go round. I go to Mike. Mike, here comes your card. You're still in the area, though, of the wings. Hindered by the wings, Laura. And, Mike, you got yourself an 8.
Not a bane. Enveloped in the webbing, the wings muscles constrict and suffocate like a massive python. Fail and suffer a vicious wound. Difficulty 12. Advantage trait gifted. I am gifted, but the death mod makes that a 14. And even though I have a command pip, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that.
Okay, I think he's going to go ahead and make roll that. And you have not suffered a vicious wound. You have eliminated battle as an option against these creatures, not that we would probably care. And it is the one make roll that you are allowed to use in this battle, although everyone else can apply their own make roll. We go on to my action. I'm still waiting on Tony if Tony shows up. And here comes my card. I got an 8, but it's a Bane. But the Bane isn't the same as the regular card.
Tony texted he's on his way.
Enveloped in the webbing of the wings, muscles constrict and suffocate like a massive python. Trait gifted. Gifted. I may not be gifted. I am not gifted. It is the one of the 6 I do not have. So I'm going to need a 14 or I'm going to suffer a vicious wound. I don't really want to suffer a vicious wound. What level am I? I look at my sheet and I say, wow, I'm level 5. Guess what, Mike? I'm joining you. I'm going to use my make roll at this moment. Because a 14 on 2 dice is not something I'm going to try to roll. And I have made my scratch marks on that, and I go over to Rusty. Rusty, you are still on the beast, I believe, and you got yourself an ace again. Boy, they definitely want to give you an ace here.
Yeah, Rusty gets 2 aces, and we get 2 8s.
Let's see. Beguile the serpent, twist the metal, creates flashes of distraction, hypnotic light, success, and continue grapple to top, neck, spines, difficulty 11. So let's see. The monster is a +2, right? So that's
Correct.
a 13. All right. And so if I want to get my blade golden, I need to use a make roll here.
No, you don't, because you're still rolling 3 times, and you do have the command pip, which could give you as much as +2.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll
It's
try
up
it.
to you, though, if
Give
you
all
want to
the
use your make
traits,
roll.
burn your one that gives you the Fury Pip.
On the first battle of the day?
Nah, we'll save that. 9. Oh, the 9 does it. 14 does it. Okay.
Yeah, I think you needed the 14 because the command pip just negated the defensive mod. So you still needed the 11.
Okay. I got it. So I am now blade golden.
Well, but wait a second. I'm going to have to hold you on a point of order here.
First roll?
Oh, no.
Because you attempted to get the blade golden the last time and failed. If you attempt to lock something as glorious and fail, you lose it.
No, I wasn't locking as glorious. I'm just getting it.
You're getting it here. Okay, then yes.
I don't have blade golden.
Okay, add it in then. The fact that you got Blake Glorious and
No, it's not glorious. It's just golden.
Golden. Got it. Okay, and I go on to you're still yes. No, Rusty is out of the danger zone. We go to Conrad. Conrad, you're still in the danger zone, I believe.
No,
right?
I made the roll to get out.
You made the roll to go out. Let me go back away from that hangman card because you are going to pick you're going to pick either magical or calculated or brash.
I would like to take brash.
All right, now let's give you that hangman card. Let's go up to 96, I believe, in the booklet here and read that out. Hanged man.
It's in the chat.
It's actually the inverted.
It's there, the second paragraph.
Terrific, thank you.
Duels now an affair of personal honor until the deck reshuffles. Selecting player may not attempt escapes. He will not draw event.
Nope. Next paragraph starts with inverted.
Merge with the mysterious until the deck reshuffles. The player generates warped outcome events anytime his modified dice exceed 16. Referee may continue this penalty after combat for the rest of the adventure, or just until the wheel is flipped.
Okay, so I won't penalize. What level is your character?
I am 6.
6. I won't penalize you for the full mission. I'll save that for my Stellara in the group. But here comes your actual card, and it is a King Bane. I forgot to. Did you say brash or
brash? Brash it is.
How about a King Bane? Brash.
That's a Rod's King
in the chat
and a Bane. While rushing forward to engage, you slip on blood.
Having annoyance turns into outright peril.
That actually is a coin that showed up for some reason, Mike.
Brash, Bane, King.
Rod.
But
you pasted coins, Mike.
My apologies.
While rushing forward to engage, you slip on blood, spilt ale, mud, water, ghastly ichors, etc. Fail and you surrender, taken as a captive after a matter of honor. Bold characters perhaps exercise trait benefit to ignore. I am in fact bold. Regardless, you suffer the shaken penalty. Flare, if this action occurs in the underworlds, it does not. No one gains advantage of or may practice recitation with wizardry illusions. Difficulty 7, advantage, swagger, ferocity, J, as in Joker. And I do not have ferocity. Is there a mod on this? It was 2, right?
-2, correct.
-2, but we have the command pip still in effect?
The command pip has not been used.
So I need a 7. I need a 7, which becomes a 9. But it's so 9, but it could be as low as the 7. So I'm going to roll twice, I guess.
You're rolling twice. That is correct.
Rolling twice with 2 dice to picking
up ferocity.
Ferocity, and there it is, success.
Okay, so pick up ferocity.
It's a matter of honor.
You unfortunately you're shaken by the action, but you did not fail and surrender. And I go over to Laura. Laura, that command pip of +2 is still there for your use. You are still in the zone of terror, I believe, and I flipped a death card for you.
And I got
that can't be bad.
so I probably don't need both.
An inverted death card. That can never be bad.
A Bane death card, yes.
Greg's asking if the call has started.
Do you have that mic, or do you need me to go down to the dragon tables?
I was going through it, but I think Greg Morrison's trying to add in, so I'll try and get him in Skype.
You know, I put Greg in the Skype for the last, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, and I got no reply from him. This time I leave him out, or did I leave him out? Maybe I did leave him out. We're always cheating, Greg.
Let me see if I can find death now that I'm on that page, which is Dragon Death. Ooh, that's the last sentence looks like that might not be too bad.
Dragon turns its breath on itself. Ref should roll random among spots occupied by the player characters. All players grappled to that area are vulnerable. If the player is vulnerable and fails his next roll, his character takes an extra vicious wound. Ooh.
So I'm going to just flare that because we don't actually are attached to anyone. And so if anyone is still attached to the wings, by failing the roll, you also take a vicious wound in this next round. Here's your actual card, Laura. It is
wait, hold on.
Keep reading. Still. Only characters in the vulnerable area are at risk, yet the dragon doesn't usually do this because it might be too injured. All players gain Fury Pip.
Fury Pip was the important sentence.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all gain +2 for the Fury Pip. That's nice. And Hermit card for you, Laura.
Oh, hermit. Here we go. Ooh, this one looks not too bad. At least I like that first sentence. There you go, Laura.
Discover dragon has a soft spot or other vulnerability. The ref picks an area like top, head, chin, hair, carapace, neck, underbelly,
Wings.
etc. Someplace that has the kill result. Any character entering that area automatically is successful if the result will slay. However, the player must still generate the event yielding. I keep trying to move the chat bar a little bit, but
yeah, it's there are no kill spots in the wings itself. But what I'm going to say, Laura, is if you are successful in your next action to move us away as a group, everyone moves away as a group under your guidance. Here comes the card. It's a knave. That's not going to help us, I don't think, but we'll see. Wings knave.
We'll see who finds it first. Front claw, underbelly, underbelly.
You need me to get a mic?
No, I found it.
Hold on to the abductor, thumb claw, like the pommel of a saddle and ride out the flap as you would to tame a bucking horse. Fail and continue next round in the zone of terror.
Actually, you got me on a point of order here because I said any movement off of the wing puts you against the 4 that we need to defeat. So if you fail this roll, you actually get advantage from it.
Difficulty 13, advantage skill equestrian. If you have a catbird seat, so it's a.
But if she fails, then you're also out of it, right?
I guess it's a 12 because of the defensive modifier, but I did.
No success advantage for this, so essentially all it is skill equestrian. You want to fail it on a 15 roll.
I do have equestrian.
Okay. 3 dice for a 15, but you're trying to roll low here by some fluke of the universe.
Hey, look, it's a 10.
Yeah, but your level.
I still have to roll 3 times, huh?
Yes, you still have to roll 3 times. It's not optional.
Step on the claw.
It's a matter of personal honor.
Wow.
Oh, look at that. Her luck's going to hold.
Roll like Rusty.
Yay!
Yay!
All right, we all move off of the wings, which is not a good place to be.
Jumped into the water.
And we move on to the actual attacks we're going to make on the 4 creatures. I go on to Mike. Mike, you're off of the battle with the creatures. Are you going to brash, magical, or calculated?
I am going to brash. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going to brash.
How about a 6 Bane? Coins. 6 Bane's coins.
A 6.
I'll be back in a bit.
Coin.
Okay.
Bane.
Greg Morrison, do we got you in Skype or am I see you, right?
My
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah,
Okay,
my
terrific.
Brash Bane, 6 coins. The dastards have you just where they want. It's a trap. Fail and suffer a vicious wound. Again, against large plus adversaries, the difficulty increases by 3. Flare, if the action occurs in the underworld, it doesn't. If skilled duelist.
You have command pick if you want.
Am I a duelist? I am not a duelist. Difficulty
Improved.
reduces by 2. Difficulty 8, swagger concentration. I do not have swagger concentration. The command pip started with Laura and went around the table with Laura, so we no longer have a command pip,
Fury
correct?
pip. I just got everyone a fury pip.
But we have a free
But everyone
pip,
has the Fury Pip.
so that gets rid of the death mod. So I need, but enchanted is bigger than large, so I need an 11 on 2 dice. Let me take a look at the longboat. The longboat is vigilant, so I will go ahead and roll 3 dice for that because I don't want to wound.
Okay.
3 dice looking for an 11. 14.
14 is a success. And yeah, your character's only level 2. Boy, you are among the mighty who roll often, and you're our guy that unfortunately is going to be sucked in by the danger.
Yeah, but you know what? I think enchanted is high and is the level I want to check my heroics.
Terrific. And except, yes, heroics, absolutely. Greg, are you with us? We're going to flip a card for you, sir.
I am with you.
Okay. Would you like to go brash or would you like to go magical with your character?
Oh, gosh, I forget what the sensible thing is to do.
Brash would be the sensible thing to do. Magical would be as if you wish to increase your swaggering in magical areas.
Well, let's be sensible.
Okay. How about if I give you an 8 of Rod's Bane?
Oh, joy.
Yes, joy.
In the chat.
Thank you. Your adversaries are only interested in loot. Use that observation effectively. Fail and suffer or shaken. Difficulty 7, advantage, Blade Golden. Do I have Blade Golden?
Interested in loot? They think we've got the Wand aboard.
I do not. I do not have Blade Golden, but I have the Fury Pip.
Okay. So how about if you roll me a 7 on 2 dice? What level is your character?
Oh,
I thought you made 5.
I did make 5 last time I played, yes.
You're rolling twice, taking the better result. And one more for better.
Oh!
And that's not better.
Oh!
Oh, it's sad to see your rolls that they match mine. You suffer penalty of shaken, which cancels your fury. So you are sort of
neutral,
furiously shaken at the moment. If you obtain any back, I'm going over to me, and I will take a brash card. I got a King of Swords Bane. We hate Banes. I don't know why anyone would say they love Banes. King of Swords, brash Banes. I believe I have it here. It's suffer a blow or stumble and have the wind knocked out of you. Fail and surrender. Wow. Bold characters may cancel this once. Against the large plus adversaries, it goes up by 3, regardless you are shaken. If action takes place aboard the group's longboat or at sea along a river, and it does, the fall was from the boat's riggings. Difficulty increases to 11.
Oh.
So it is 11 minus 2 plus 2 for the Fury is an 11. And fail and I surrender. I roll twice for looking for an 11. I can make an 11, can't I? And that's a big no.
Oh!
I've surrendered. I surrender.
Who did you surrender to?
Well, I surrendered to whatever these demons are. I surrendered to the necromancer Fet, right?
See.
Yeah, he's the guy
You're
I
on the
surrendered.
deck. You're on the deck weeping like a baby. Besides, I'm weeping too, so it's not hurting.
It is my frequent spot on deck, weeping and creating the salt tears that can be used by the magic users of the group. No, I'm basically out of battle. And Rusty, what would you like to do? We still have a four of these demonic type of flying creatures
you're not
to
bold,
defeat.
Red, is that correct?
Oh, Rusty stepped away for just a second. We'll catch back up. Conrad, what would you like to do?
I take it you're not bold.
I am bold, and I should use it.
And yes, Laura, loving Banes is like a
now.
Stockholm
Is the bold an automatic, or is the bold I got to sacrifice a swaggering? Once per adventure, sacrifice any swaggering to gain the Fury Pit. No, ignore the first forced escape or surrender. So yes, I am bold. I will ignore my first escape or surrender. I'm not
safer on the deck crying.
Somebody reminds me that I'm not weeping on the deck crying. I'm actually sword in hand still fighting. I didn't realize it. Conrad, what would you like to do? Thank you, Conrad.
I believe brash is the correct answer.
And 4 Bane. Gosh, that was a lot of Banes.
It's never the
4
right
coins Bane.
4 points Bane.
I missed all these Banes?
You did. You missed
it's all
environment. Use the environment. The ship's riggings.
That was a good poop break.
Tavern furnishings, the flora, the fauna, the undulating path of earth and loam to evade as you formulate a plan of attack. Fail and knocked unconscious. Flare, if the adversary is great, the injury results in a vicious wound. If skilled man at arms, difficulty reduces by 2. Difficulty 11, advantage, skill, engineer, sapper. So this one's going to be a little bit of a math problem here. So the number is 11 plus 2 for the defensive modifier, less 2 because we do have the Fury Pip, plus 2 because I am shaken. So I think I'm back to 13.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm at 13.
Are you an engineer?
Am I a man-at-arms? Yes. So I'm back down to an 11. And lastly, am I an engineer sapper? And no, I am not. So I'm back to an 11.
11 on 2 dice to keep from being knocked unconscious.
Knocked unconscious. Okay, 2 dice. So looking for the 11. Is this worth using a make roll at this point in the game?
No.
Unconscious is not.
Unconscious is safer. Okay.
No.
That's a fail, and 11 is a success.
And you're not knocked unconscious. Laura, brash
So
or
my
magical
shaken
for
will be
you?
gone because I am bold for next round.
What was that, Red? Brash or what?
Yeah, brash or magical attack, Laura?
Yeah, give me magical.
Yeah, how about a 10? 10 of cups.
Not
a good
even a
card.
bane.
Wow, that never happens to me. Experiment with witchery and devilish charms, curses read in moldy tomes, or overheard in hushed tones. Success and dispatch a half D8 opponent or one large plus adversary, but fail and select a regular next round. Oh boy. Regardless, enemy is now enraged.
Thanks, Laura.
Thanks, Laura.
Difficulty 11, advantage trait gifted. Gifted is the one trait I don't have. So.
Blow make roll high half D8. Win the battle.
No, because they're a large plus.
Yeah, they're large plus, Mike.
Darn.
Yeah. So dispatch 1.
Well, then don't burn a make roll because you're
But
not
you
facing a wound.
Yeah, that'd be the only make roll I could do.
Correct.
Well, it's just a regular for me. It's not screwing everyone, but they're enraged either way.
Regular's not as bad as some irregulars.
Well, I still have the catbird seat because I didn't use it, or do I lose it if I didn't use it?
Yeah, if you did not need it last round, that was the round that it was available in.
Okay. But I have everyone's got the Fury Pip.
You have the Fury Pip, which, we're at -2/+2 from that Fury Pip. It's an 11 on 2 dice.
2 dice, yes.
And rolling 3 times.
Wow, never mind.
And right off the bat, she doesn't even need the 3 times. Regardless, the enemy's enraged. The defensive modifier for them is now -3. The battle's getting interesting. Mike,
At
what would
least
you like
Laura
to do?
killed one.
Yeah.
Laura has killed one. That is correct. Thank you. 3, sorry.
I'll stick brash.
Target number. And here comes your brash card. How about an Emperor Bane?
How about the Emperor Bane? Ooh, this is a long one. I think I'll just read this out of the tool. Inverted, lose a random blade swaggering. If the technique is missing, no effect. If the technique is locked, it's glory. 19. I did in fact have a scheming blade. Not anymore, Monty.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Your actual card is a 7, Bane.
One last. What a blade is our name. Blah 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 blah. Okay, 7 of swords. Bane, brash. Really. Okay. Fumble and drop your prized weapon, which is no longer scheming. But as your opponent jests at your mishap, with the blink of an eye, the instrument of doom returns to your gauntlet, because I am scheming. Fail and add a half D8 steps towards oblivion on your tally of warped outcomes. Flare if the action occurs in the underworld. It does not. Difficulty 14.
Man,
That's an ugly
boy.
one, isn't it?
14.
ain't gonna happen.
Is +1 is okay, and then +3 Death Mod, -2 for the Fury Pip is a 15. Advantage Blade Ingenious A. My blade is ingenious, so at least I'm rolling on 3 dice.
Wow. He has a chance. Let's see if it comes through.
3
Rolling
dice.
twice. Rolling once,
No,
Mike.
rolling
Sorry.
once.
You're
I'm only
And
double-
gaining no benefit for it, by the way.
and gaining no benefit for it.
Well, if he fails, he's going to add that half D8 steps toward oblivion. Mike, you
That
go
takes
ahead
my
and roll
tally
yourself. That's a
to
3.
11. Oh, yeah.
You're an 11 now on your warped outcome tally?
Yeah, I'll go find what that says.
Okay, thank you, Mike. And we'll go on
Conrad,
to Greg.
monitor
Greg,
the
you going to
score.
do your brash action again?
Let's do my brash action again.
How about a
Brash-
star? Let's see what the star
The
says.
star's always good.
Star, inverted, gain a clue. We get a quest pip of +1. That's always nice. That stays with us the whole time.
Players
It's
discover
inverted.
a different adventure.
Oh.
It's inverted.
Oh, except for a quest pip penalty.
Yeah.
We didn't have a quest pip, so we can't lose a quest pip by our new modified game mechanics. We go on to
It's
So-
bad.
but you get that tower card. Boy, we're just going to dump on Greg. We only see him once a month, and you're going
It's
to kill him.
inverted.
Inverted.
It's
All the regular results apply, plus the enemy is now enraged. Enraged. Well, you can't make him any more enraged. The other shoe drops. More opponents arrive in the battle, perhaps those injured. I'm going to flip us over to, I'm going to say that our 3 attacks have become a multitude, that we are now just going to use evasion, rowing for our lives on that Q&D. So let me go up to that Q&D. Those were just the scouts that we were fighting, and we didn't defeat them long enough before they telepathically or
Thanks, Greg.
calls
You're
attacked.
Outdistance to retreat on the ship engagements table. That's what we're doing.
Yes,
should have been obvious to us.
it is not. It is outdistance retreat. Thank you, Mike. And I'm on page 234. Here comes your actual card. It's the Lover's card, as if you cannot get away from the majors, Greg.
Yeah.
We should have known something was wrong when Rusty drew the ace right off the top.
Yes,
Twice.
Okay, the ship's crew has suffered a particularly devastating loss. There may be a master with a specific skill killed, or the boat needs rowers, sailors, and soldiers. This invitation requires role play to mitigate. Sure, one of the player characters might sub in and perform the role, but ideally he will want to go off an adventure. Take note of the shortfall, apply a shake and penalty to rolls and
Digressions.
Could the shortfall not be corrected?
we're going to test the longboat, all the traits of all the swaggering of a longboat after this battle. We're still trying to evade. How about a 2 Bane on fleeing for your life, Greg?
All right.
2 Bane. Huh?
There are Banes on retreat. It's one of the few that has Banes.
All right. Start by making yourself invisible, then widen this protection to your limits. Fail and the longboat loses 1 swaggering. If the loss removes the vessel's last technique, the group ship is sunk. Continue with digressions. Difficulty 13, advantage wizardry illusion.
Ooh, so that's a 16.
We don't apply the defensive modifier with retreats and evasions. And
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I do, in fact, have wizardry illusions.
3 dice for a 13, or you have taken off a chartered path from us as we wander.
Actually, it's a 16, isn't it? Because he's got enraged.
Either way, that second roll made it.
Yeah, I'm not applying the defensive modifier for us fleeing, Conrad.
No.
Voila.
Greg is rolling twice. He is successful in the second attempt. I go over to my character doing evasion. We only need one of us to get away. A fool card. A fool card is never a good thing to see.
Sure.
And
Let's
it's
see
a
how
bane.
bad the fool is. If the group's vessel has a seasoned crew, a fail result on the next event means it's lost. A night bane. Did I say that retreats have night? Have banes? I did. Why would I mention that? Here it comes. The crew has more to fear from you than the enemy. That is true. I could drown them in tears. They rode
Swinging
to
your axe.
escape the wrath of Broth. Fail and shaken. Skill tormentor. I don't think tormentor is in my repertoire. Let me look. No, it's an energetic skill I do not have. I will roll a 9 on 2 dice because that's what I am. I'm a guy that can roll a 9 on 2 dice.
Woohoo!
Rusty, here comes your card. How about 3 of swords?
Rusty missed a cycle in there.
I did.
That's why we obviously
The deck
faltered.
is confused. That's why Rusty doesn't have a Bane.
I love Banes. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Harness and anguish and pain you and your men feel. Send it back at the enemy. Success to safely escape, but fail and longboat loses 1 swaggering technique. If the loss removes the vessel's last technique, the group ship is sunk. Continue with digressions. Difficulty 12, advantage, wizardly psionics. I am wizardly psionic. Let's see. I rolling for 12. And
You
this is
could
a
make
straight
roll this.
roll?
Have you used your make roll yet, Rusty, in this battle?
No, but I get to roll 3 times for a 12 with 3 dice.
Okay, go ahead. I think that was how we started this adventure, I believe.
Oh,
And we have no pluses.
There's
No
no
plus. Well, no pluses. It was a minus quest pip in essence.
All right.
There's
Hold on a
14,
second.
he made it.
Yay!
All right, but now we're going to go down the boat. We're going to test it at difficult. So I'm going to start with Conrad. Conrad, what is your level, please?
6.
6. You're going to roll a 7 to keep our charted path.
7 for difficult. I think we lost chartered path.
No, we have not lost charted path yet.
I thought we lost that in previous.
I think it was stressed, but we did not lose it.
It
Okay, fair enough.
got refilled at the top of the mission.
No, I mean like two cards ago. I thought Red said chartered path.
He
as
took
well.
a different one.
I actually rolled my 9, I believe.
Oh,
Fair enough. 7 it is. Need no
And
more.
that is successful. And I go over to Laura. Give me a roll of a 5 on 2 dice to keep religiously inspired. And I go to Mike. Treasure laden. Mike, did you save the treasure on a roll of 12?
Oh shoot! It is.
Or is that what we threw overboard?
Yes, we threw it overboard.
We did.
Mike, this counts as task resolution. You know what that 2 means, don't you?
It means that my warped outcome goes up again.
Yes, by half a D8, please.
Okay, so before I roll this half D8, my prior warp tally of 11 means I am pick up the distinctive cosmetic affectation. Do you want to assign one, or should I just make one up?
You can pick one.
All right, and then my next one will be a 14.
And you can look that up.
Fingers.
You can. What does 14 give you, Mike?
The 14 gives me resolve has weakened the character's resolve in dealing with the supernatural. When I use recitation, I must roll twice and take the worst result. If above level
that's
5,
a terrible one.
Each roll is diced multiple times.
Does that only last in the adventure?
The adventure.
Okay, just last this adventure. So you're not going to be using magic much this adventure.
And
Greg.
And I also now have webbed fingers. I picked up like a membrane, like a dragon's wing.
Okay, that's pretty good. Give me a 7 on 2 dice. You're level 5. Give me a 10 on 2 dice, Greg, to save our vigilance status on our boat. And the guys are sort of depressed by us, why we're running around like we are. We could.
You only get to roll once, unfortunately, Greg.
Bummer. All right.
Yeah, and my character, I will just skip. Rusty, give me Arcane Sentinel, please, to protect it on a roll.
I'm level 8.
A 7.
I'm level 8, though.
I'm sorry. Give me a 5.
A 16.
And Conrad, Treachery Expunged on a
7.
7.
Success.
And I move back up to Laura. How about Battle Ready on a 5? And Mike, No Disease on a 12.
No disease on a 12?
You've got those web fingers. I think you're going to spread some disease with them.
Yeah, coronavirus.
And, Corona fish virus. How about we go over to Greg? Greg, can you please roll me a 10 on 2 dice to save our no curse?
There you go.
Oh, thank you. And I will skip myself. Rusty, can you go to Noble Allegiance, please? Give me a 5.
Made it.
And Conrad, can you give me that roll of 7 again for our season crew?
Success.
And Abundant Stores, Laura. Did you save the rum?
Yes, I did.
And Mike, back to you. Vermin Free on a 12.
You know, I think it's funny that the guy who lost the no disease is about to lose the vermin free.
It would make sense, wouldn't it?
Vermin free!
No. He's a good rat cat. Our new webbed fingered man is a good rat catcher.
Nice roll, Mike.
Undamaged, Greg. Give him a roll of 10 to see if the ship has been damaged. Killing the rats.
Nope.
And the ship got damaged killing the rats. I go over to me, but I skip to Rusty. Rusty, camaraderie of the crew on a 5.
Missed it.
Oh. Now that they're disease
Conrad, orderly kept on a 7.
Success.
Laura, the inhuman watchdog. Do you protect our dogs on a 5?
Yes.
And Mike, democracy. You're the one you always love, the one that you always seem to inspire back. Give me a roll of 12 to keep that. Look at that. You're such a hero. Make sure you check in Ignoble for that, Mike. And finally, Greg, last roll that we're going to do, a battle hard. Are we still battle hard on the 10?
Yep.
Wow. Rolls. Okay. Well, we did not lose that many. It was quite a suffering that we had. I think we should all check something besides battle for that misery we suffered.
I can take heroics. I can take heroics for that, right?
Yes, you can. I'm going to check. Adventure for that.
So we did not have to win to have heroics, correct?
You do not have to win, and you do not have to forego the make roll.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What the heroics is, Conrad, is it must constantly be an accelerating thing, and you fought.
So I had it as an enchanted multiple, which we definitely met.
Enchanted multiple was the last time. You need to do a little bit better, but I'll say it was a little bit better because these were more like a dragonkin type thing. So
Okay, fair enough.
enchanted multiple with the flare that we started on the dragon table. That would make sense. And we ended with the escape table. Everyone else, if you need clarification, go ahead and get yourself an ignoble. Greg and Laura, your level is 8, and Rusty, your level is 8. You guys are retired on active duty to a large extent.
Right.
Thank you for your service. I go on to the next encounter. We are going over to Conrad. Conrad, do you see the Caucasus region map? Me with the feedback?
Somebody's trying to connect to AOL.
Skip me if you would.
Or
Okay.
someone's mic
That's
battery
it.
is dying.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like when Reds dies usually.
I'm here. I just had to step away for just a second.
Okay, and we're back over onto the map. I'm going to go over to Laura. Laura, do you see our boat in the middle of the Caspian Sea heading toward the wet ruins?
Is it the Caucasus region map or?
Yes, the Caucasus region map, correct.
We need to pick up our wand in Itil first.
Okay, you're going to take that with you, Rusty?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Well, I'm going to remind everybody we should take the wand in Itil.
Well, it's in the area, so sure. That would help lessen the effects of the flail.
Okay, so we need to.
Sailing toward Itil. If you agree with that, I'm going to flip a card for you. If you wanted to change your mind and go to someplace else, like the brain-eating Saurians, I would my character, Etok, would advise against that, but you are at the moment making decisions for us.
Well, if we're on the way to Itil, we may as well.
Here comes your card. It is a knave. We get attacked again. So let's flip this up just a little bit, and let's go ahead and take one round, not of outdistancing, but one round of ramming. We'll go around the table with one round of ramming. Success in the player's boarding. All we need to do is board this enemy, and we will successfully end this battle. I left off with Conrad. I will start with Laura. Laura, here comes your card.
The dragon guys again?
If not the dragon guys, it's just random pirates in the area. It's not really anything we've escalated yet.
Okay.
Laura, 7 ramming. It's in the chat.
Let the crew act in the roles. There's nothing to gain by bellowing. Success and gain command pip, but fail and knocked unconscious. Against large plus adversaries, the difficulty increases by 3. Are they?
They are not large plus adversaries.
Okay, so it's difficulty 11. Advantage longboat season crew, do we still have?
Season crew. Let me look at our longboat technique.
We still have season
Yes, we still have the season crew. That is correct.
Animate it.
And success to gain the command pip for everyone. I go to Mike with the command pip. You get a force card, Mike.
Oh, the force card is fantastic because following the battle, I receive a personal swaggering technique as a bonus learned from the action. Bonus may not be used to make another technique locked as glorious if the card was selected during a sail aboard, player knocked unconscious, but it was not a sail aboard, so yay.
It's not a random one. It's one you get to pick, right?
Yep.
And your actual card is a 3.
But it's a bane.
It's a bane, but I don't think we have banes on ram. Yeah, we do have
yeah,
banes on ramming. I apologize.
That's all right. I get a free swaggering anyway.
You do.
Bane 3 ramming. Walk the crew and ensure all men are armed. Shields held high. Fail and knocked unconscious. Difficulty 9. Advantage longboat battle ready. The longboat is battle ready.
It is.
So I will just take my 15 and find myself a personal swaggering technique. You know what would be a good swaggering technique for this one would be battle cry. Because that's what
Probably.
I just did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go over to Greg. Greg, here comes your card on ramming speed. 2.
Not a bane.
Alrighty. Swap out the weaklings and get your strongest on the oars. Success in all players move to boarding actions. From there, they may select a sail, command, or outlandish. Difficulty 13, advantage, longboat, inhuman watchdogs. Do we have that?
Yes, we do. 3 dice for a 13 to end this battle.
2 rolls because I'm level 5?
Yep.
Oh, so close.
Wait a minute. We have a command pip. He made
Command
it.
pip adds 2. That 11 becomes a 13 with the assistance of Laura. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Battle is over. We're still on our way to Itil.
Was that tail worthy for a level 2 character?
Yes.
That gets me to level 3. Thank you for the
What is that?
And for the rest of us, there is no swaggering from this. But if we collectively have a few more battles like this, we can easily claim one.
I will take my Bard's Tale for leading the defense, since I checked a battle cry. You got to pick up battle cry for that.
Are you double checking here, or is that the one you just grabbed, Mike?
The one I just grabbed, but I'm just saying why I'm justifying it. That I led that battle because I got to battle cry, and
it does sound like that. And I will go on to the next flip of the card. We've seen a knight, we've seen a knave, so another knight and another knave will also get us to Itil. But a 9 is going to be the bane, and then we're going to go ahead and continue into Itil to get the wand. But that 9 probably puts us back in the fact that the prisoners that we took aboard have had some sort of mutiny. So I'm going to go ahead and use the same table on assail. Everyone will take a flip of an assail card. These are actually rather high rolls to make. And if any result results in, going on to success in the battle is 1, or the enemy leader surrenders, or if we move on to engage the enemy commander for victory, that either of those will end the battle. I left off with Greg. We go up to me. I flip a card, a 4. It is a bane, but there are no banes here. The enemy desperately employs savage animals to thwart your plans. Thwart you plans. They thwart me plans. A success and gain command pip. Regardless, all players take events on setback until one of them successfully gains obstacle removed. Am I a skilled houndsman? I do not believe I am, but let me look. Is it one I chose? Houndsman. Houndsman is under... I'm missing it. Oh, it's under Houndsman Beast. It's under Rugged. I am a Houndsman. I'm rolling 3 dice here. Wow, 3 dice for a 13 to avoid to gain the command pip. And that's an 11, but I rolled twice for my level, and I am successful. So you guys get the command pip, but we're now on setback. Rusty, you still with us?
Yes.
Flipping a card for setback. How about a Queen of Bane? A Queen of Coins Bane.
Okay.
No banes on that table.
No banes on the setback table. They're all bad.
But it's the thought.
Well, because it's a bad table.
In a quieter time before the crisis, you taught the crew for self-preservation just how to deal with such emergencies. Success and an obstacle or impediment of the battle is removed. Regardless, all players suffer shaken penalty. What?
Ugly.
Flare if the adversary is invincible. A failed result also inflicts a vicious wound. It is
not.
Okay. Difficulty 7, advantage, swagger, better valor, B. Okay, let's see. I do have better valor. B. I also have malicious, muculus, glorious, blade, and psionics. Okay, so I can roll 3 dice looking for 7 3 times.
Okay.
You want to mark that glorious, Rusty?
Let's see.
You have the command pip as well, right?
Yeah, let's see. Advantage, better valor, B. Yeah, I could mark it glorious. Okay, I'll try it marking it glorious.
Okay, it's going to be a 7. You're rolling 3 times.
But he's got the command pip.
With the command pip, and you made it there even without the command pip. Mark that guy as glorious, and go ahead and move us off of that setback table where we do not belong. I go over to Conrad. Conrad, here's your assail card. It is a 3.
No banes there, obviously.
No bane.
The class has lost all semblance of order. To your right and behind might just be enemy soldiers fail and knocked unconscious. Regardless, all players take events on setback until one of them successfully gains the result of obstacle removed against large plus adversaries, and they are not. The difficulty increases by 3. Difficulty 12, advantage, Blade Paladin, P as in Paul. And I do not have Blade Paladin, P as in Paul, and do not want to get knocked unconscious at this point in the fight, so I'm going to use the make roll.
Okay. We are back on setback, unfortunately. Laura, here comes your card on setback. How about a 9?
And we're all shaken.
Right? Yes, we're all shaken as well, yes.
Whatever is broken can be restored in so many countless ways, so long as the crucible allows you the peace and space for incantation. Fail and knocked unconscious. Regardless, add a half d8 steps to your tally of warped outcome that do not resolve that result. Flair. If the adversary is heinous, the injury results in a vicious wound. Which it isn't. Difficulty 12, advantage blade, fantastic. Let me see if I have...
We're shaking, so we're at -2 here. It's a 14.
14.
Just the 14.
I do have fantastic, so that's 3 dice.
Okay.
On 3 dice, roll 3 times.
Oh boy. One more chance.
But she makes it with the command pip.
She made it
I
with
was
command.
about to ask, do I have a command pip or anything?
She made it with the
With the
command
command
pip. Thank you,
pip.
Rusty. So we did not suffer the knocked unconscious result, but Laura's going to add a half D8 steps toward oblivion on her warped outcome. Give me that half D8, Laura, and go ahead and just mark it down. You do not advance the actual event. And I go over to Mike. Mike, you are still on setback. How about a 2?
Laura's asking if you want to round that half D8 up or down.
It should be a 3, Laura.
3, okay.
Okay. Setback 2?
Setback 2, correct.
Okay. If anybody cares, by the way, since I just leveled up after winning the battle and getting the battle cry.
That's not how I saw it. Tony was there. Sorry.
Tony's not here. And getting the battle cry global, or getting the battle cry swaggering, one of my traits allows me to lock it glorious, so I just locked that battle cry at glorious. And then I just picked up slave driver and tormentor and rabble rouser. It made
So
me,
you are someone who cannot keep his voice down.
apparently. Very, very, very typecasting for a Mike character, right? Right. Or just for Mike. Anyway, 2, setback, a balance of exertion, quickly surmise which will happen first, that I'll be crushed by the buckling hull or drown in the currents. Fail and suffer a vicious
Those
wound.
aren't good choices.
Those are great choices. Fail and suffer a vicious wound. Difficulty 9, advantage, skill, grit, fortitude. You know, the one thing I am not is rugged. So the one thing I do not have is grit, fortitude. And I think I'll just go ahead and burn that make roll I just got for leveling up. And,
Okay. No vicious for you. You would have needed 11, but you have survived it. And I go on to Greg. Greg, here comes your card on we're still in setback, but it is an inverted judgment first.
ooh, well,
The inverted judgment, if the group's vessel has longboat vigilant, and we do not, a fail result would mean we would lose that technique, but we do not have vigilant anymore. How about a 10 on a setback for Greg?
Not inverted.
Excuse me. Alrighty, 10 setback. Keep your grip and brace stance squarely on a section of the hull that you're bracing. Okay. As others hammer or buttress into position. Success in an obstacle or impediment of battle is removed, but fail and knocked unconscious. Flair, if the adversary is nasty, the injury results in a vicious.
It's not a nasty adversary, but it's a difficult roll.
Difficult roll, difficulty 13, advantage, swagger, wrestling hold. Let me take a look. Do I have personal swagger, wrestling holds? I do.
Ah, terrific.
All right. 2 dice.
We are shaken, so it's a 15 on 3 dice, please. Rolling twice.
That's a 16.
Oh, my mistake. I'm so young. I saw that 4. I saw that 4 or 5, and I discounted the 7. None of that. Just well, me. How about me? How if I go a setback card? How about a high priestess setback card for me? Am I knocked out of the battle
That's
again?
inverted as well.
Inverted too. How about if the group's vessel is a pure no curse, and we are pure no curse, I could possibly lose it on my action. My setback is a 6. Call for buckets as the group ship has listed and nearly capsized in the water. Fail and longboat loses 1 swaggering technique, 1 more besides the other one. If the loss removes the last one, we are all in digressions. Blade mucilage. Let's see if I have a blade that will weep for me. I do have, I'd say, one of my few glorious ones. I have a gloriously locked mucilage, so I'm going to go ahead and go at 12. I am
Shaken.
-2 because the fury is a 14. That's terrible. I'm going to once per adventure. Now, I think I can sacrifice with my bold. I can sacrifice a longboat swaggering. I don't like being religiously inspired would not be the one we take, because that one is we Glitner. I want to get the Fury Pip. I'm going to take our abundant stores, and I will go ahead and roll. And in this case, it will only be a 12. Here it comes. 3 dice. And I am successful. I go over to Rusty. What would you like to do? You're going to get your setback. How about a chariot, Rusty? Inverted is our inhuman watchdogs are now being threatened with loss. A 9 Bane for you, Rusty.
We're still on the setbacks table, right?
That is correct.
In the chat.
If you're muted, Rusty, if you think you're talking, you're not.
You might have stepped away for a second. We'll hold that 9 setback for Rusty. It's a knocked unconscious, so he can't protect us with it. Here goes yours, Conrad, a queen.
Also on setback, right?
Also on setback, correct, because Rusty's result of 9 would not take us off of it.
Queen is always good. In a quieter time before the crisis, you taught the crew for self-preservation just how to deal with such emergencies, which is to say, gird your loins there, dudes. Success in an obstacle or impediment of battle is removed. Regardless, all players suffer the shaken penalty, Flair, if the adversary is invincible, and he is not. We do not suffer vicious wound. Difficulty 7, advantage, swagger, better valor, as in B as in boy. I do not have better valor, and we did have charted path. Do we still have that?
We still do, yes.
Yeah, we do.
So I could roll 3 dice for the 7, but it's -2 because we are shaken, correct?
That is correct.
And we've been shaken for more than 1 round, or less than 1 round, right?
No, it's been around. I'm not shaking.
No, it was it was shaken on my roll. So if I was passed, then nobody's shaken anymore.
Okay, so then I'm not shaken. So I've got a 7, difficulty 7, rolling 3 dice.
Yeah, because double shaken we don't want to experience. In this game, double shaken is ordinary roll or your surrender.
Now I could roll 2 dice for a 7 and pick up better valor.
You could,
which I would do in quieter times. Yeah, let me do that. Tony would definitely do that because I'm rolling twice. So let's go ahead and roll the 7, just the 7. There's the 11. Picked up better valor.
Okay, and we are out of this battle. We are back to a sail. Laura, how about an ace perhaps for the win?
Did you want to resolve Rusty's 9 first?
Rusty, you back with us?
I am.
Okay, Rusty, you got actually a 9 on setback. Go ahead and it's right above.
Okay, let's see. Whatever. Oops, it was scrolled again. Whatever is broken can be restored in so many countless ways, so long as the crew simply allows you the peace and space for incantation. Fail and knocked unconscious. Regardless, add a half D8 steps to your tally of warped outcome, but do not resolve the result. Flair if the adversary is heinous. He's not. Difficulty 12. Advantage blade fantastic. And let's see. Blade fantastic is what letter? D. I do have blade fantastic, so I'm looking for difficulty 12, 3 dice.
3 dice for a 14.
16.
Well, are you bold? If you were bold, you're no longer shaken.
I am bold.
He made it either way.
I made it either way.
Terrific. And we go on to Laura's card of an ace.
He
for
did
the win.
he was regardless pick up points on his warped outcome.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. Roll a half D8, Rusty, and add it to your warped outcome. We do not resolve that event.
You can thank me later.
Thanks, Conrad. Thanks.
And ace a sail, Laura.
Even if some of your own men were struck, no one should have come near your blade's inestimable swings. Success in the battle has been won. The enemy leader surrenders. Difficulty 13. Advantage, swagger, ferocity, J. Oh, I do not have that swagger.
You can cover with pure no curse if you wish to roll 3 dice.
Maybe I should just use a make roll. It's a 13, and I'm newly shaken from
You
combat.
could use a make roll to win this battle and pick up swaggering ferocity. That's not a bad use of a make roll.
Yeah, let's do that, because
Okay.
that means the next battle I can use another make roll if I need.
Absolutely. And so pick up your swagger ferocity. We are out of this battle. Anyone, let's see, this is another, well, we had a lot of setbacks in this battle. I would think that we probably could have a Bard's Tale. We probably could have not really desires fulfilled. Bard's Tale is one of the few I see that we could check off there.
Maybe adventure.
Venture. Yeah, absolutely.
Who are these guys?
Venture or Bardsdale.
It's a mutiny.
Right. Who are these? This was a mutiny? All right.
It
No, this
was,
was another ship.
yes, essentially it was a mutiny aboard.
Well, the prisoners escaped or whatever, broke
Yes.
out.
Yeah, that's what it was. Prisoner mutiny.
Always chain your prisoners down better.
Always chain them down.
Remember back in
Don't use wooden chains. You use the
should-
wooden chains on the magical
back in the
creatures of the
fall.
underworld.
You should
When we was
charm
crossed.
them into passivity.
Yes, we should beat them in passivity. We got a Mike could. In fact, it was Mike who probably let him free with all his screaming. All right, we won't hold him responsible yet. We're still trying. This actually got us to Itil, so we can pick up the wand there. And at 7:37, we probably can move directly to the West Ruins if that is our desire. Mike, is our desire to move to the West Ruins?
Yeah, let's go ahead and move to the West Ruins.
All right, Mike, do you see the West Ruins on your tabs? The wet ruins. Forgive me, not the West
Ruins. Yes. Let's see, we're in that door.
We're in that door, and we can go north, and we can go south, and we can go east. There is no west because we're on the edge of the underworld. Where would you like to move from that big old door? We won't resolve any combat from that action, which normally we'd have to breach that to enter.
Let's go north.
Let's go north. Are we going to go very far north? That remains to be seen, I guess.
Might I suggest we do some freestyle roleplay to see how we would breach the door, and allow us to use our clevers.
Okay. How about I'll allow you to, if we get a majority of these rolls, we can pick up the quest pip for the remainder of the mission. I'll give you that as well. So let's figure out. We'll start with Conrad since he made the suggestion. Conrad, how do you get past the gates of the wet ruins, and what other obstacles did we have to overcome in this hallway?
I guess I'm not the engineer sapper that I thought I once was. Darn it! I'm gonna bring up some livestock like ox and such. We'll just tie ropes to it and pull it out.
Pull it open. That sounds great. These would probably be a difficult roll. Give me a roll of a 7 for you, Conrad.
7 it is, and the obstacle that I see that we've created is we would need rope strong enough for the oxen not to tear it apart.
Okay.
Rolling the 7. There it is.
And I go over to Laura. Laura, how do you what sort of connection do you make between the oxen, the door, and the rope that you create, or the cabling you create? You can use a skill, you can use a swaggering. You can use a swaggering you do not have, but the result would become a tasking roll. But your roll right now is a 5. If you can figure out a way to fashion a rope strong enough and secure it to the door.
I don't think I could get any swaggerings out of this, so I will use my tinker.
Terrific.
Yeah, I'll use my tinker skill and forge an iron ring to put in the door, loop the rope through.
Sure. Sounds good.
And let's see, you said 2 dice for
2 dice for a 5.
That should go. There we go.
That's 2 out of our 6, so we're on our way. We need 4 total. And what obstacle did you create by forging the iron ring and tearing the door off its hinges, or what do we see in the hallway that Mike is going to have to mitigate?
What do we see in the hallway?
Is the hallway partially flooded? Is the hallway on fire?
When we ripped the door off, unfortunately, part of the archway fell.
It's Laura. Laura needs to decide for you, Mike.
Oh, Laura decides for me.
Yeah, you get to punish Greg.
Oh, that's always fun.
Oh, joy.
Hurt me, baby. Make me write bad checks.
Help me.
What? So I can't come up with a monster or anything. It's got to be a more practical.
Well, it can be, but it'll have to be a monster that's more of an annoyance. Like, was the hallway filled with bats when we opened the door and the men were afraid? You can just go wild with your imagination here.
We're in the freestyle portion of today's event.
Yes, we are in a freestyle. We are storytelling here. I need to get my pipe in hand.
I
Brought
think
to you by Saki Dice Incorporated.
reveal that a good portion of the hallway is missing the flooring.
Okay, so does the flooring is patchwork up ahead, Mike. How do you mitigate that? How do we get past it?
You know, I'm not an engineer, but I am a delver.
Okay.
So
How does a delver get you past that?
How does a delver get me past that?
Yeah, how would a delver get past a unsure flooring?
I just figure I'm going to drop a rope, we'll go down and walk across and go up.
Okay. Down and up, like it's a side scroller. I like it. Give me a roll of you are level. Oh, I need a 12 from you, Mike.
Yeah,
That's right.
well, you know, there's a 4 because it was a terrible idea.
All right, but what
problem did you create, Mike?
What problem was created by the fact that we tried to go down and then up? What did we run into, etc.?
He probably collapsed the floor.
I was going to just go with below is flooded.
Okay, so we actually were swimming in a soup. Greg, how do you get the men and our supplies across this soup that we were sort of wading through and swimming through?
Oh, can I just rope them together?
Well, you can, but you're going to have to tell me how. Do you rope it together with your artillerist ability because you're used to fashioning the cables on artillery pieces? Do you rope us together with courtly graces because you know how to tie a wonderful robe together? Again, you just need to flare this.
I have prestidigitation, and I can do all sorts of magic tricks with ropes.
Okay, yeah, you're used to accustomed to rope. I like it. Give me a roll of 10, please.
Roll a 10. 2 attempts.
Okay, so we got the fact that we're in a sea of muck and the floor is broken and it comes over to me. Plus, add one more obstacle for me.
Wait, does
do
Greg
attempt.
have to roll for his level?
No, he only gets the one attempt, right?
Just a task resolution.
It's a task resolution.
And Greg, go ahead and do your worst to me. What happened
We really
to me?
want Greg putting more ropes down.
Okay, so we're trying to cross a floor full of muck. What happened to you?
Yeah, what do I got to do to save myself?
Why didn't your ropes work, Greg?
Well, apparently I knotted them up pretty terribly, so you have to unknot them in order to get through the tangle.
You might have even put a little magic charm on that you weren't aware of, and the ropes are attacking me, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, my prestidigitation worked. It backfired. Sorry.
Ah, that's okay.
But it's only prestidigitation.
I'll go out on a limb here and say that I'm a horticulturist, and I've dealt with savage vines before. So I'm going to go ahead and use my rugged skill to basically hem and haw and turn these things into a right proper hedgerow that we can walk on instead.
Just hack them down.
And that was a roll of a 7 for me on 2 dice. And if I miss my roll here, we are not going to be successfully crossing this hallway path. Oh, that is a 3.
Man, that's a tough hallway.
That was a tough hallway that
What about
Conrad
Rusty?
suggested we go on. Rusty, I'll give you a chance. Those who made rolls, by the way, could check, unfortunately, their display of skills. That would be Conrad only at this point. Rusty, how do you save this whole thing with some sort of cosmic portal?
Well, I would normally just use a cosmic portal, but I get a free roll here on trying to become a winged mount, and my winged mount would just go fly me through.
It's a 7 on 2 dice, Rusty.
There we go. Let's see.
It's a 5 for Rusty, actually, isn't it?
He's rolling tasking to pick up something he doesn't have.
Tasking, and I made it, so I now have a winged mount.
Well played, Rusty. Well played.
Okay, so
I would have used the cosmic it would have mattered.
No, I think it's a good proposition. I started with Mike. I'm going to go over to Greg. Greg, you have to actually. We cannot go. There's too much stopping us from going north from this location. We're going to have to go east or south. Which direction would you like to go?
Yeah, where am I looking on the map here?
You are on the wet ruins.
The wet ruin.
Yes.
Okay. We're at that door.
Yes, you are Ernest Borgnine.
All right, well, let's go there.
Okay.
Oh.
Let me draw that then. And I believe when we hit stairwells like that, we need to charge and clear the guards out of the way. So I'm doing Q and D. Is it Sunder the shield wall? Let me double check that to make sure that I'm not cheating us. And it is a stairwell, which counts as flight of steps. Flight of steps, we are going to do Q and D full on charge, including the Major Tarot.
Weehaw!
And I left off with, who was the last one to make a roll? Greg made the decision, and I got Laura as the one making a roll. So I'm going to go to Mike. Mike, here comes your card on full-on charge. How about a king?
I love starting off with a king. That's awesome. Attack at the quick step or the trot. No need to be caught unable to pivot. Success, and all players take actions on Sunder shield wall. Difficulty 6, advantage, mount resolute. My mount is not resolute, but even I can make a 6 since there are no penalties against me right now. See?
Good job, Mike.
Success and all players take action on Sunder siege wall, which I think is what all we needed, Mike, in order to win that. That king is actually a good card to start the day with. So we have cleared that stairwell of any guards that could be in there. And I go on to me. I'll skip Rusty.
You low levels should take some swagger.
Level 3.
Yeah. So you should take ignoble.
Mike should grab an ignoble. That is absolutely true. And
well,
from there, Rusty.
I'm not sure what a good ignoble is for that one, though. For charging the shield wall, I guess that's
Heroics.
Brightdale.
I don't know if it's
Display of skill.
Might be battle. I'm not sure if it's heroics.
Battle.
It could count as battle for you, sure.
Yeah, I'll take battle.
Low guy.
Battle's a good one always to get. And we're going to go on to Rusty. You can go from here. You can go back to the door and go south, or you can go north, or you can go east. You may not go south from here. And if you're a completionist, you definitely want to go north.
Yeah, I'm not a
Oh, he's
completionist.
baiting you, Rusty. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it.
I can go to the east, right?
You can.
I'm going east.
Okay.
Oh, you fell for it.
And it looks like we entered some sort of barracks.
All right.
Let's see what that barracks does. A dormitory. In a dormitory, let me double check that is a dormitory. A dormitory of the cult.
Oh,
It
boy,
is a dormitory.
recruits.
The dormitory, it's a use the nasty monster bane with each player needed to obtain his own escape result. Any result that causes decline in ferocity is treated instead as battle end. Major Tarot treat as a difficult roll of task resolution to gain personal swaggering of corresponding level. Letter. So I'm going to go ahead and just point that.
What are we doing, Bane? What?
Drop it in here. We're doing nasty monster bane.
Nasty monster Bane. Not good.
Nasty Monster Bane, and I will go ahead and I left off with Mike. Greg, you get the first Nasty Monster Bane card. How about a 4?
Woohoo!
Hey, Greg, if it makes you feel better, there are no inverted results on this table, because it's all bad.
It's all inverted by definition.
They're all Banes. It's already been.
Couple of firm back in a shiltron of stakes, huddle in a phalanx, protect your backside and hamstrings from canine nips and tears. Success and escape the battle. Ooh. Player may remain but gains no die roll bonus, but fail and overwhelmed, taken captive. If the character is armor or smithy or trait rugged, the difficulty reduces by 2 for each. Difficulty 11, advantage wizard geomancy. So trait rugged or armor at smithy. I'm armor or smithy. I am not trait rugged, so I get a -2 for that. And am I wizard geomancy? No. Okay, so -2 to my rolls.
Looking for a 9.
This will get you out of the battle.
Go!
Doesn't he roll twice for his level?
Yeah,
Oh!
Greg is still in the battle.
He's overwhelmed, right? Taken captive.
Oh, it was a fail, wasn't it? Greg has
Yeah.
been taken captive, so somebody's going to have to make an extra roll, not only get out themselves, but they're going to have to rescue Greg. And that rescue Greg, I think, is going to be on a horrible monster result. Since it's starting right with me, I'm going to take my horrible monster result and try to...
Don't I get to go after Greg normally?
You can if you are here.
Indeed,
Hi,
I
Tony.
am.
It's
Hello.
nasty,
Sorry,
though,
guys.
isn't it? It's nasty.
I would hate to think that you're taking a horrible Bane result that could have been going to me, but go ahead. Yes.
Okay, trying to help you out.
How about if I give you that Wheel of Fortune card and we shuffle, and here we go. It is an 8 on horrible. Horrible.
It's like
8.
a new day. Tony's here. It's like a new day.
Climb to achieve any advantage of height. Crouch atop your charger or hang from a shipmast. The foe has never had to look up to fight its dreadfully short and violent life. Fail and suffer shaken. If the character is skill acrobat or equestrian, the difficulty reduces by 2 for each. Difficulty 10, advantage mount inexorable. Well, let's have a look here. Do I have mount inexorable? I do have mount inexorable. It's even locked as glorious. And I have to be a acrobat or equestrian. I am an acrobat. And am I an equestrian? I think I am. And I am an equestrian as well. So I'm rolling 3 dice of a 6.
3 dice for a 6, or 2 dice for a 6 to lock it as glorious.
Oh, it's already locked. So
3 dice for a 6 to keep from.
There we go. That's
and right. You are not shaken. And then it comes over to me, and I take my horrible action trying to save Greg. In fact, we'll just stay on horrible actions until Greg is rescued. A knight. Let's see what that knight gives me. A creature is striking directly at your charger. Has your steed the experience to anticipate the blow, then canter left. If combat takes place in the underworld, it does. Treat instead as a queen. I'm going to go over to the queen instead. Hold a choke point. Make it lethal, so none of the mobs dare cross. Optional, success to escape the battle. Well, I do need to obtain that, but failing, get a vicious wound. Character is a bowman, men-at-arms. Blade gladiatorial. Am I a bowman? Am I a man-at-arms? I do not appear to be a bowman. Oh, I am a bowman. I am a bowman and a man-at-arms. Wow, Etok has got some good skills. Do I have blade gladiatorial? Blade gladiatorial. What level? That is an R, and I do have that. Let me see what this roll is. It is an 8. Down 4 is a 4. Is that correct? We don't have any penalties, right?
Barely an inconvenience.
Yeah, barely an inconvenience. I believe with barely an inconvenience, I will roll 2 dice to try to lock my blade gladiatorial as glorious. And I have done so, and I have obtained my escape. I will obtain my escape, which is always nice.
Was that your escape, or was that you got Greg loose?
Yeah, that's why I got Greg loose.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's weird, because we should be rolling on nasty, correct, Red?
Yeah, here you go, Rusty. Here goes your nasty.
Nasty's
a pope.
A pope.
Inverted.
The pope. We treat the pope as... treat a major tarot as a difficult role of task resolution to gain personal swaggering corresponding to the letter A to T. So I got a cheat table here that tells me that the Pope, the Hierophant, is E. So you can gain swaggering E, Rusty, on a difficult roll. That's what your result will be.
That's way better than everybody losing a make roll.
Yes. So your difficult roll is only a 5, Rusty. Do you have all of the E results or not?
Yes, I have all the E's, but none of them are glorious.
Okay, well, you can go ahead and roll a 5 on 2 dice and lock them as glorious. You do not get multiple rolls for this, though. It's a task resolution.
Okay, well, let's see. Let's go with. We'll make. I'm going to have a serene mount as glorious.
Give me 2 dice for a 5, please.
Made it.
And he gets his serene mount as glorious. I move on to Conrad. Conrad, here's your card, and it is a 9.
Is this a
nasty?
Nasty, okay.
Oh, so I don't get any chance to get out?
No, that the flip of the card will count as your card since it gives you an alternate action.
But again, your mount is serene because it's not in this underworld.
Yeah, nice.
Strategize to overcome the monster's swelling numbers. His weaker minions and guard animals are in a frenzy too. Fail and suffer a shaken penalty. If the character is skill delver or trait methodical, the difficulty reduces by 2 for each. Difficulty 9, advantage mount, talking P. So first step is, am I a delver and am I methodical? Scroll up. I am not methodical. I am not delver. So I'm looking at a 9. Is my mount talking P.S. Paul? I guess it is. So I'm either can roll 2 dice of a 9, and turn it into glorious, or I can roll 3 dice looking for the 9 and not suffer the shaken penalty. Difficult choice, difficult choice. What would Tony do? What would Tony do? Tony would roll the 2 dice. I'm going to roll the 2 dice looking for the 9. I'm rolling
2 dice
twice.
for 9. Okay.
There it is. First attempt.
Nice. You did not need, you were not methodical and you were not a delver.
That's
and
correct.
we move on to, but you're still in the battle with that. You didn't get your release. Laura, here comes your card. How about an 8?
Evil tends to be repelled by light, and these are doubly denizens of darkness. Success and escape the battle. Player may remain, but gains no die roll bonus. If the character has wizardry pyrotechnics, skill bowman, or trait clever, the difficulty reduces by 2 for each. So difficulty 11, advantage Mount Radiant. Let me see if I have pyrotechnics. I have that locked as glorious. I'm pretty sure I have bowman. Okay, yes, I have bowman.
And you are clever.
Clever. So I
need a
get
5.
reduced by 6. And Mount Radiant, I also have, but it's not locked as glorious.
On a 5 on 2 dice, you pick it up.
Yeah,
It's a
I can do that.
5.
It's
On a 4 or less, you lose it.
times.
It's a 5. Go for it.
I get to roll 3 times, so
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll give it a try. Although I almost automatically went to the wrong dice.
What would Tony do?
Tony would roll for it.
Well,
Like
geez.
that.
You're right. You're damn right he would.
Success. Laura's out of the battle. I am out of the battle. We go over to Mike. Mike, here comes your card on the nasty creatures. How about a king?
How about a king? Kings are great.
This could end the battle for us.
Monster is mostly of barracks repute, primitive superstition, ignorant folklore. I mean, a younger version of the mob may have been the beast of legend, but this one just seems more like a paper tiger compared to the other nasty things in the dark. I mean, there's still a battle to be waged, and this is an optional roll. Success in enemies reduce 1 ferocity to large, ending the battle. Hardly anything worth telling the grandkids. This change will take place for all players. They no longer face nasty beast, fail and suffer a vicious wound. If
Whoa,
terrible-
whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
that got popped in at the end there,
You buried
didn't
the
it?
lead there, huh? Buried the lead, did they?
What do you mean they?
He almost lulled us into a false sense of
Yeah, we
security
were
with
like,
the way he was reading it.
Yeah, it was like, hey, we had this thing.
Yeah, fail and suffer a vicious wound. If character is skill bowman or man at arms, difficulty reduces by 2 for each. Character is a bowman, character is a man at arms. As a matter of fact, his name is Iverson, and Ivor means man with bow. He is a born archer.
Oh my God, he's going to bore us to death.
Yes. Well,
Now that
Wasn't
was not
wasn't
nice.
against the Hornlings.
I
It
was
against
actually
Mike.
enjoying that.
Mike monologuing.
Your recitation was splendid, Mike, but do you have that voltaic?
It's monologuing us.
You know what? I do, in fact, have voltaic.
All right,
So,
but
a 9?
you have a lot of bonuses here. Did you want to try to lock it as glorious?
Yeah, I'm going to try to
Oh,
because I only need a 5 to win the
he's
battle.
baiting
and
you,
lock
Mike.
it as
He's
glorious.
baiting you.
So I will, take the voltaic at glorious and win the battle because that wins the battle, right?
It does
Well
win the
done.
battle, reducing the ferocity. We have driven out the occupants of this dormitory.
But for
No
level
one will
3,
remember the
that would
creatures.
be-
They will only remember Mike describing them.
So is nasty the thing that I want to check for heroics at level 3, or is that way too high?
Nasty is not high enough for level 3.
Oh,
You have to check probably nasty, horrible. I think you need to get one above horrible, enchanted, I think, at level 3.
yeah. Well, there should be some other ignoble for that.
Well, it is a Bard's Tale, and it is adventure. And I tell you what, you can ransack the dormitory and pick up prizes. And we'll give ourselves abundant stores again. Thank you, Tony.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Yeah, let's
Let's
go ahead and
stores.
ransack.
We didn't have prizes.
You can take prizes.
No, well, I was saying we still had abundant stores. He was saying we got it back, but
Laura says we still have abundant stores. But
We lost abundant stores when we had a test down the whole longboat.
No,
We
still have that.
I saved that because you said
Oh.
I had it marked off.
we lost prizes.
Clarify. I used the abundant stores in order to pick up the Fury Pip when I made my roll to pick up a swaggering the other time.
Then I will take those tokens off. And then
I added back a longboat technique of abundant stores. So.
Okay, so then I will put those tokens back on.
Yes, thank you, Mike. And we are still in the wet ruins, and we can go. Let's see. I'm moving my die from Greg. Who made the last decision on the dormitory? I cannot remember. Was that Russ?
I was the one who said we go.
Conrad. Where do you go from here?
Let us
go north or back.
North it is.
Oh, not north. Okay, let's see what we got north.
I'm going to slaughter the beasts and take their carcasses and line the floors with them so we can cross the flooded room.
Well, that could be an option. We'd have to go through our rolls again. That is a let's see, what the hell is that? That is, I'm going back to my my key here, and that is a pulpit. That is probably not a good thing that the evil cult has an assembly. We're going to use Q&D sorcerers. Any major tarot knocks the player out of battle until a reshuffle or the player party is totally ousted for a reset. Any result of flee is instead treated as a vicious wound to a random character. Q&D sorcerers, and we are looking to actually defeat them on that table. Let me double check to make sure. Enchanter, foul creature. We'll go down. There is one.
High priest table?
Fighting sorcerers and high priests.
Yes, fighting sorcerers and
spellcaster.
Enemy spellcaster.
Page
table.
185.
Thank you. And there's lots of vicious wounds. We could possibly win on a king. Gosh, this is a terrible table. Look at the numbers on it. Okay, time to pull out those make rolls. And who do I leave off with? Mike, I go to Greg. Greg, with much apologies, here comes your card. It is the moon card. The moon card means you are, as it says right here in my table, it says any major terror knocks the player out of battle. That's probably not a bad place to be, unless we all get knocked out of battle. Then we all come back in. So, Greg, you're out of battle for the moment. Tony, here comes your card. Queen. Tony, Queen, for the win.
Getting knocked out is better than what that card really was, which would have been the enemy enraged and more ferocious.
My Queen, huh? Outmatched, losing the ability to move, call for aid from ancestors, or pray to the sea gods. I never prayed to them. I killed the sea gods.
Pray to Glittner.
There you go. Go, Glittner, save me. Fail and suffer a vicious wound. Flair, strange insight awards the character wizardry paralysis. If the character is skill mariner, mount lucid, or longboat, or king sentinel, the difficulty reduces by 1 for each. All bonus doubles if battle takes place on the rivers or seas. Difficulty 12, advantage, swagger battle cry.
So you're avoiding the vicious wound. It's a 12.
It's a 12. Well, let's see here. So first, character, I gain wizardry paralysis.
Correct. And with your character, we've been making the advantage that you can take instead of the paralysis cue, you may take either meshed or sturdy from your blade or mount.
I'll take sturdy.
Okay, sturdy mount. In a faraway land, they're training your mount. And now let's count your bonuses here.
So if the character is skilled mariner, am I a skilled mariner? What is that under?
Methodical. It's under methodical.
Methodical. I am a mariner. Okay.
Very nice.
And then longboat. Or do we have longboat arcane sentinel?
Yes. We do still.
Okay, great. There's another one. And mount lucid of an N. My mount is lucid of an N. So that's a -3 on that right there. So it becomes a 9. And if I am a personal swagger battle cry, which I am, an A, so I'm 3 dice of a 9.
3 dice of 9 to avoid the wound.
All right. First time. There you go.
First time, no problem. I go on to my character.
Barely an inconvenience.
Barely an inconvenience. And here comes my card, a king. A king.
There's a
possibly
wind
I
card.
believe.
That's wind, of course.
Intimidate the leader so he loses nerve and thinks better not to have a dog in this fight. Success and enemy magic is neutralized. Regardless, select method irregular next round. I will not. If the character is skilled tormentor, I am not. Mount ominous. Or mystical, the difficulty decreases by 1 for each. But I'm not even going to worry about that. I'm just going to go ahead and make roll and win this battle. So that puts me down to 3 make rolls. And I will look at my advantages from that. And I am going to pick up Desires Fulfilled and Profit, because that pulpit, I'm sure, is worth treasure laden for us. Let me put that back on us. And we are back over
Does
to...
that count as a magic monstrosity for level 3?
Did you actually have an event, Mike?
Actually, no, I did not, so never mind.
Yeah. We're going to go over to Laura. Laura, from that room, you can go west if you're into a completionist mode, or you can go backtrack and go south from the door. Remember, in these cults, we're basically trying to find the main guy in charge. We're trying to avoid the sub-commanders, which are in various locations. And you've seen 2 others, so go ahead.
Let's go west. See if we can get around the obstacles to get where we're trying to go in the first place.
Okie doke. A room of skulls. How bad could that be?
Those are never good.
Bad for the skulls.
That's
for
the
sure.
ossuary, right?
Danger.
All the skulls are very unhappy.
We're going to use Q&D cultists. Any knockout.
Unhappy? They're all smiling. What are you talking about?
Any
See all the
major.
teeth?
It is true. They are all smiling at your possible demise. Any major tarot knocks the player out of battle until everyone is ousted or the party is reset with the reshuffle. Any
Page
result
182.
of flee is treated as a random character. So this is basically the same thing, just a little bit easier battle than the sorcerers. And where do we leave off at? We left off with
Rusty.
me. I'm going to go to Rusty. Rusty, you're back fighting cultists this time. Oh, cultists are easy. These are easy rolls. How about a 7, Rusty?
And it's a Bane. We love Banes.
Bane's on this table.
Oh. Okay, let's see. Rush forward, only to be smacked backwards. Feels like you ran full stride into a tower shield or rampart wall. The cultists have created a glassy dome, treated as like any barrier and probe for weakness. Fail, and the player must select escape going forward.
That would be a wound.
That means you're knocked out of this battle, Rusty.
Okay, if the character lacks trait clever, I am trait clever. The difficulty increases by 5. Difficulty 7 advantage. Skilled engineer sapper, and I am a skilled engineer sapper. All right.
3 dice looking for a 7.
3 dice for a 7, or somebody takes a random wound. And
Just a 7.
we're still in the battle, though. And I go to Conrad. Conrad, here comes your card. How about a queen?
Queen is always good.
It is.
The ground soaked by the cult in an acrid fluid. Your sagum-covered nostrils begin to burn. Fail and suffer vicious wound. That would not be good. Regardless, the enemy magic use is neutralized. If the character lacks the skill Berserker, the difficulty increases by 5. Berserker is under energetic, and I am in fact a Berserker. So I do not suffer that penalty. The difficulty 8 advantage trait rugged. I am in fact rugged. So I'm rolling 3 dice.
3 dice for an 8 or suffer a wound.
And the enemy's magic is neutralized, so it's to win,
Yes,
right?
we've ended that battle.
Let's go and roll the 3 dice looking for the 8. There she blows right there.
Okay, and that room has been neutralized. There is a cult in that room. So, Mike, you've already gotten your treasure, services, and profiteering, right?
Correct.
Your, desires fulfilled?
Desires fulfilled is the same as treasures private.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mike has got nothing to gain from that, and there's not enough wealth in there to give it to anyone else. So we're going to go ahead and go on to Laura. Mike, make a decision. Where would you like to go from here? You
So my
basically
choice
have one
is
choice, I think.
I can go north. Can I go north from here, or do I have to go back to
Cannot.
Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Fortunately for us, the sub-commander was through that passageway to the north, and now we'll never fight him. Knock wood.
Yeah, no, it's you did not cut off your only avenue to get to where we're looking for, but we did face a sub-commander of some sort. Let's see which one we have here. This is the Wet Ruins, and counting across, Wet Ruins, Loyalists. This guy is This is a Fey ambassador. We do not need to necessarily attack him in this room. However, we need to convince him that we are not going to be a threat to his interests. He's showing up on the scene to negotiate a deal with the leader of this group, who is a slave master. A slave master who essentially collects slaves and sells them to the lizard folk men. So this Fey ambassador is trying to negotiate a deal with him as well to get human slaves. Will we promise him to supply him with human slaves? We would need a tormentor to start with. That would be Mike, and I think Tony as well, right?
Yeah,
I have it.
And Laura.
I am a tormentor. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, not having
So-
it, right?
Is there any tormentor slave driver in the group? A double.
I am a tormentor slave driver.
Me too.
Just tormentor.
Tormentor slave driver.
We have several tormentor slave drivers. Give me rolls of difficult in order to convince this guy to stay out of this battle. And Tony
Yeah.
has made his.
You need a Stagliari for this.
You're a level 8 as well, right, Tony?
Yes.
I think it says there level 8, yeah. And Mike, you missed yours, but you just defer over to Tony. So we do not have to fight the Fey ambassador in this room. And I'm going to go ahead and mark him as done. And we move then
Is that Prudence offering him slaves instead of fighting the fairy?
Sure, Mike. And from here, I go to Greg. Greg, you can go east and you can go south from here, or you could try to re-navigate the broken floorway to the north.
Let's not do that. Let's go east again,
East.
because I'm that kind of guy.
Nothing wrong with east.
Excuse me.
Okay, we reach an intersection. You're still your choice, Greg, because we have not hit anything bad yet. You can go south from this intersection, or you can continue to go east.
Well, most of the map is east, but I'm feeling adventurous, so let us go south.
Interesting.
So much for a completionist.
That might have been an actual lucky decision on your part.
Then again, it might.
Wise.
But then again,
It
it
sure
might
as
not.
hell wasn't an informed decision.
Okay, so from here you actually can go in,
Or west.
but we have another person. That's another dormitory of another person we have to deal with. There is a Sultan. The Sultan is actually being held in a mindless state in this room. Do we want to just pass through and not worry about him, or do we want to try to rescue him? And the choice is Greg's, because he's the one that found the room. So, Greg, you have a Sultan in this room. That the Outland Sultans are not necessarily friendly to the Westerners who live in the Outlands. These are the Nomadic Warlords. But do you want to perhaps try to make a friend by by
You are
releasing this guy.
That's my thinking exactly. Sultans may not be friendly, but when they're captives and they're rescued, I mean, they are wealthy.
Okay. Yeah, well, they definitely will be wealthy. So
and they might be grateful.
what we're going to do is we're going to go around the group the same way we did the floor, and we're going to have everyone propose, and you should lean toward more magic. And then we'll start with Greg, and then Greg will propose the obstacle that he created that Tony needs to face. So, Greg, you have this guy who is in a mindless state. How do you bring him from this catatonic state? What do you do?
Oh, let me look at my character here and take a look at the. I don't think I can bribe him out of it. I mean, I could leave him in the catatonic state and pick his pockets.
What you can? Those are all probably counterproductive things. What sort of wizardry do you have, Greg? Let's look at those.
I have psionics. Ooh, actually, that's a really good one. I have power work.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good one. Let's start with the obvious. Why don't you try to restore his mind with psionics?
I'm going to Viking mind meld with him here.
I was just thinking that. You're going to Spock him. Okay.
I mean, the Viking equivalent, right? Yeah.
Give me a 10 on 2 dice.
You got it. All right. Let's see here. Ah!
All right. That's the one of 2 fails. I should say we can get 2 fails, so we can't fail 3 times in a group.
Actually, we have Tony
showed up. I think we get an extra roll.
We get one more.
And so I'm going to go with you were not successful, Greg, but what other difficulty did you create to this catatonic Sultan? What, did you leave a nightmare in his brain? Did you leave him with a false sense of danger? What did you do with
I whatever his catatonic state is, I've rendered him further confused and disoriented.
Okay, so he really is deep. I go to Tony. Look at your wizardry. In your case, you're going to rely on your mount to help you here, Tony.
I was thinking I was going to use my barber skill, my barber surgeon skill, because I want to make sure he's still healthy.
Okay, you're just going to test to make sure that he's not dead.
Exactly.
Sure. Give me a roll of a 5 for you, sir.
Okay. There you go.
He's not only not dead, but he may be faking it.
Faking being stuck in a coma or whatever?
Yes, he may be a deep plant that if we bring him along to get him out, he may end up betraying us. But what do you discover, or what other event happens that I have to mitigate? And we skip me. I'll go over to Rusty.
Let's see here.
What difficulty did you leave Rusty to handle?
Oh, he might be, covered with an illusion that you can't tell, that just making him look like he's catatonic.
Got it. Okay, so Rusty, how do you dispel this illusion that's preventing us from figuring out this guy's true nature?
I think we could just use a spirit guide to bring him through the illusion.
Sure. Give me a roll of 5, please.
Worked.
And that's 2 successful rolls. But what difficulty or danger did you leave for Conrad to take care of? And you can go outside the box. You can say, for instance, that's when you noticed that there was a spring-loaded scythe that was going to trigger where Conrad was pacing. I mean, you can go for broke if you wish.
I noticed the Sultan seems to have a rash, a disease.
Okay. And just to add one more clarifier for me, do you think he has more of a disease or more of a curse?
It could be a curse. Yes.
Okay.
Let's call it a curse.
Conrad, the guy seems to have some sort of curse that's affecting his his dermatology. What do you do about that?
I appeal to the celestial forces using my wizardry power G to cure him.
Okay, so you're going to basically remove whatever curse is on his body. Give me a roll of, in your case, a 7, please.
And that's a 7.
7. Just enough is just enough. And but what difficulty did you leave Laura?
He has his mental prowess is back, but he does not have control of his body.
Okay, so is he paralyzed or is he spasmodic?
He's paralyzed, can't speak.
Got it. Okay,
He's
so
conscious,
Laura,
but he-
we
but
have
he
this
can't-
guy back, and he seems to be indicating, probably through some sort of mental contact, that our psionic was attempting. Greg is doing his best to pretend that he's in full, psychic contact with him, and Tony's, acting like anesthesiologist, saying the guy's still alive and breathing. What do you do to basically give this guy a mobility again, Laura?
Well, I would think my paralysis skill would be
Terrific, yeah, perfect
for
match.
that. But
Let me roll 5.
if I decide to make it a roll of a 7, I could lock it as glorious potential.
You most definitely can, Laura.
Let's go with that.
That is quite sneaky. Quite sneaky that you want to take advantage of us like that. No, she's successful. And Mike for the win. Actually, Mike, you don't even need to make your roll because I believe we have successfully made rolls around the table. So you're going to get a free roll, Mike. Laura, what do you leave as a difficulty that your husband has to clean up?
Well, we're not currently sure about his loyalties, so if somebody would be able to look him in the eyes and maybe use some mental powers to see if he's...
And I'll ask one other question about that.
Plus,
Are we worried about his loyalty in that he's going to help the slaver who owns this or who runs this cult? Or are we worried about his loyalty that even if we let him free, it's going to be bad for us on the outside? Which are we more worried about?
the first one, that he's a spy, really.
Okay, that he's a spy. Mike, how do you figure out if this guy is actually a spy of the person that he says trapped him in here?
I'm thinking about this one for a second. How do I determine that he's not a spy?
Free magic swaggering. There's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
You're rolling for free, Mike. So you could, for instance,
I'm
just
rolling
say,
for-
"I'm going to use my demonic powers to determine it."
You can pick up any magic swaggering.
So if I'm rolling to pick one up, that's a tasking or a difficult?
Could it be tasking?
But it's a free roll. You might as well try.
That's true.
Well, you can make roll it too.
I don't think I want to burn my last make roll on that. I kind of want to save that to avoid a wound since I am not rugged.
Sure.
I think I will try and pick up thought control.
Okay.
That was a 12. But I needed a 14.
Well, I was about to see if we could give you a bonus there, but it probably won't be a +2 bonus at the moment. So you try to pick up thought control, and unfortunately, you just vouch for this guy, saying he's not going to be an agent of the Taskmaster Cotton in this place. From here, I skip me, Rusty. Where do we go from this room? And let me add a soak off guy with us.
All right, we're going to go this way.
I have to get first in.
That thought control would have given me the entire P row.
That's nice. Although the wizardry doesn't really match up. Here's the soak up guy coming with us. And Rusty's going to go down that direction. Let me get back into Fog of War. And let me open this up by drawing it. Let me click 2 things to actually make it open up and drawing it. And I don't, is that a larder? It may be a larder. Let me double check. I don't want to give you something very nasty if it isn't something very nasty.
A larder would be nasty.
Well, is it a crypt or is it a larder? I think it's a basement larder. Yeah, you're in the basement larders here.
It's a root cellar. Oh my gosh!
These are unguarded treasure vaults where you can gain any longboat swaggering, gain abundance stores M, or if present, gain any A to E. So we have picked up some treasure. Does anyone need treasures? Desires fulfilled?
I do.
Who else? Conrad? Would
Yep,
you
just
pick
me.
up your desires fulfilled by having the ship have an elite goal or having vigilant? E
I
or
would
A?
say vigilance is more of our thing.
Got it. I would agree with that. Vigilance is probably better to have in this case, and whether or not we have any goal. Our goal can be very petty. We don't need any aspiring, lofting goal. We just want the guys to make sure they're looking out for snakes. Okay, so we go back to the wet ruins, and the die is moving to Conrad. Conrad, you can actually go north from here, and it's the only option. So do you wish to go north from here, or do you wish to do you wish to backtrack?
North it is.
And there's a bend. Do you want to continue around that bend?
I don't know. The bend is kind of scary.
Bends are scary.
Yeah, let's do the bend.
And I think that was a perfect play, guys. In fact, the fact that you obliterated the pathway to the north actually worked in your advantage by having a majority of the thing. This is our bad guy that we have to face, the guy with the whip. Let me go back down to the wet ruins. And we have.
So we succeeded by failing, is what you're saying.
You succeeded by failing. Yes, the place is constantly being raided by the Saurians and barely inhabited by a mix of religious fanatics, opportunistic fortune hunters, and gypsy
Who
folk.
shuffled these cards?
There's a Grey One cult here led by Slave Master Cotton. He's recruiting both humans and lizard men in some sort of wicked communion. And we're going to defeat him with that table that nobody loves. And
I love the sub-commander table.
And the sub-commander table has one little flare on it to represent the flail that he has. And that is that you have to make him vulnerable twice. All right? The first time you make him vulnerable, it does not count on the table. After that, it counts. So here comes who did I leave off with? I left off with Mike. I get Greg. Greg, you become the first scapegoat of this final battle for this underworld. And it is an Empress card.
Empress is always good.
That's never good. Oh, wait, that is good.
Yeah.
Ignore Raise Your Tarot. That means he can't get the trains to killing blows. That's nice. And that actually counts as your action on this table, Greg. So I go over to Tony. Tony, your action is a 6.
A 6, huh? Don't want to post that for me.
Not even
There we go.
inverted.
Thank you.
It's not even inverted.
Defeat Subcommander 6. Bind and tangle. Try to take him hostage. Oh, there you go. Success, and Subcommander is now vulnerable. That's what we need. In a future event, he may be slain. If already vulnerable, fail and suffer vicious. Difficulty 13. Advantage any swaggering Q.
You may pick any swaggering Q and roll a 13, and by doing so, we've eliminated the first half of the double vulnerable, and that will not return.
I will use Seize Sword Arm.
Seize Sword Arm. Okay, is that one you have? 3 dice for a 13?
Yep, 3 dice.
Go ahead. This is a time maybe we want to activate our Fury Pips and things as well.
I've succeeded.
Okay.
Do we have a defensive modifier?
No defensive modifier for him, not yet, no.
Okay.
Yet.
And I go on to my guy. I will activate my Fury Pip by being bold so that I can get +2 to my dice. And here comes my card flip. It is a Justice card.
But we ignored that.
Is there any justice in the Jester card?
But
we ignore that.
The Emperor, we ignore Major.
We basically want to ignore that, even though it says all characters without wounds would learn a new skill. I go on to Rusty, and Rusty, your card is the 3.
3 is always good.
Defeat Subcommander 3. Grapple, success, and Subcommander is now vulnerable. In the future event, he may be slain. If already vulnerable, fail, and he loses that condition. Difficulty 11, advantage any swagger type T. We'll use.
He is not already vulnerable for our purposes. He's normal now. So on a roll of 11, any swagger T.
That would be Cosmic Glorious.
It sure is.
And let's see. Okay. That would do it.
That would do it. So he's now vulnerable. We're getting there.
Oh, give us another good card.
And here comes Conrad's card. Looking for the slain result. How about a 2 Bane?
Though he seems invincible, there's always luck. Success and Subcommander is now vulnerable.
I got yes.
Pardon me. That was defeat Subcommander 2, right?
Correct.
Oh, I was reading the non-Bane version. Of course he uses magic, doesn't everyone? Fail and increase war outcome by a half D8. Resolve that outcome. Regardless of this action, the player faces charismatic frontman Scipio. We do not. A random character suffers a vicious wound. Difficulty 9. Advantage trait clever. I am in fact clever. Good news for me. So 9 or suffer warped outcome. Rolling 3 dice. Looking for the 9. Just the 9. 13. That's greater than 9.
Bane Ace is the one where we're going to have random vicious wounds delivered. And this essentially is no warped outcome for you. And I go over to Laura. And Laura, you got yourself the devil card.
So we ignore that.
That's ignored.
We ignore that. And so we don't want to cause any loss of swaggering. I go to Mike. Mike, how about a 4, Bane?
How about a 4 Bane?
I hate 4 Banes.
Buy the numbers and be ready for surprises. Fail and all characters lose trait gifted strategic benefit of canceling warped outcome. If this event is failed twice by the party, a random character suffers a vicious wound. Regardless in this action, if the players face Fey Ambassador Nox, we don't because we made friends with him, maybe. Assuming that was the guy we talked to a few rooms ago. Anyway, we don't face Fey Ambassador Nox, so we don't have to worry about a random character suffering a vicious wound. Difficulty 9, advantage trait methodical. Let me think. I'm going to... I'm just going to roll that.
You guys, 9. A 9, so you did not fail, and we do not lose the trait warped outcome canceling. And I go over to Greg. Greg, here comes your card. How about a 7?
Not a Bane.
Oh, for the win.
Make roll.
That was a Bane 7, I think you posted, Mike. It's a regular 7.
Oh, well.
Thank goodness.
Dice are nearly a 10. He can make that. No worries.
Did we lose you for a second, Greg? Did you mute?
I am muted.
That's okay. I was about to say, boy, it'd be a shame to lose Greg at the moment, a moment of his victory, and we missed that opportunity. It's in the chat for you, Greg.
I was reading it. I was reading it into the muted microphone. Sorry.
That happens to us all.
So you've had an opportunity to practice it.
Yeah.
Yes, he's
really gonna be
rehearsed for
good
his
now.
audition.
Yeah.
It's really going to be good now.
Now he really can use his voice inflection.
Does not suffer this result until he is vulnerable. If he's not already vulnerable, fail and suffer half the increase in warped outcome tally. Difficulty 10, advantage, any swagger type G.
I think you were actually practicing the wrong one, Greg. It's defeat Subcommander 7.
That's what
he said.
Now, success in Commander Slain, yeah.
Oh, did I miss that? What is this? If already not vulnerable, it's the half DA's increase. I flaked on you. My apologies. Greg, do you have any swaggering G?
I have 3 of them, yeah.
Okay, so pick one.
Or just, make roll and pick up
Pushing
one.
below, just because it's cool.
Go ahead. Give me 3 dice for a 10.
Roll!
Good job, Greg.
He rolled it, which is what you should do in this case. No, I would have used my make roll. The subcommander is slain. We have defeated Cotton, and we get to take the flail from him. Wow.
That's Flail, right?
What nobles does that satisfy?
What? Any of them? Which one do you need?
Boy, adventure, bard's tale, crafty deeds, desires fulfilled, growth, or
Flail, you killed a subcommander and retrieved a magic artifact of note.
And it's the one we were needing to put it with the sandals to beat the Lich who's got the immortality from his crown. So yeah, these are all very nice things.
That sounds like a magical thing to me.
It is magical.
I was going to take Bard's Tale, but okay.
It is Bard's Tale.
I'm taking
Bard's
Tale.
I'm going to take Magic and Monstrosity, I believe, for myself at level 5.
I got the killing blows. I'm going to take Bard's Tale.
Okay, Bard's Tale is always a nice one to take. The holy Neper's Flail, the Moon Flail. Who are we going to give the Moon Flail to? I vote Laura. I always vote Laura. When it comes to magic items that we don't want to lose, we give them to Laura, right?
Which should be somebody that's a man.
We give them to Laura when we do want to lose them, and she can't get rid of them.
Should be a man at arms that has it. Is Laura a man at arms?
Yeah.
Well, I think she's a woman at arms, but yeah, she's got that skill.
Should be a duelist Laura a duelist?
I am a man at arms. I am not a duelist. I step out of the running.
I don't want it.
I am a man at arms and a duelist. Laura, I will check for Laura. She is.
No, I am.
Oh, you are a duelist?
I already said I am.
Me too.
Hey, Mike, it might get you an ignoble of some sort.
If I
It should
take
be a delver. It should be a delver that carries the weapon.
Probably
I
should be a
am-
delver. I agree with that. Do we
I
have
am a delver.
I am also
Mike is a
Delver.
duelist, a man at arms, and a delver at level 3. Nice skills.
But so is Tony.
I am as well, yes.
It should be
Laura,
someone
you
that is
also a delver.
methodical. It should be somebody that is methodical to carry the magic weapon.
I am methodical.
I'm not a delver because I am
Okay,
not.
Laura dropped out by Conrad's sorting hat. Would you, Tony? Are you methodical?
I am methodical.
Okay, so we have 2 players who are delver, methodical,
I will step out
duelist,
for Mike.
man at
though.
arms.
It's not stepping out. There's no courtly
there's
graces
no-
in this. There's no courtly graces. If you have the
I am-
mark of the gods, you must carry the flail.
I am courtly graces.
Does that mean that the person who has to carry the flail needs courtly graces?
Sounds good to me. If you have then the carrier of the flail must have courtly graces.
Oh, I don't have courtly graces.
I have courtly grace.
You look down and it's in your belt, sir. Whether you want the Flail of
Dang it,
Neper
all
with
right.
you or not, you have the Flail of Neper.
All right, I'm carrying the Flail of Neper.
It is one of the 4 Egyptian artifacts, and we now have collected 3 of them. It is 8:37, which we're probably, rather than playing for another 20 minutes, we'll probably cut it off early this evening. We could handle an epilogue, get us back someplace, but with no way we'd be able to get through the dry ruins, the last of the 4 ruins. Back in the Caucasus region map, we've defeated the wet ruins. Let me get out my marker here. Make sure that we properly slash and burn.
Well, at the beginning of the session, you did mention something about Rostov, and then you didn't get into Rostov, so maybe this is when we need to go check on Rostov and what's happening with the faith?
We could possibly do one element of Glitner's faith to push us to purge the heresy or gobble godly aspects. So I will put it to Tony now with the flail. Tony, do we use the flail to start purging heresy from our own religious forces, or do we use it to start mandating subservience from other religious sects in the region?
I kind of like starting religious war a little bit, but
It's
purging heresy is fun. No, let's
purging
do it.
heresy is fun, but you also notice that the arrows from purges, if you go to Glitner's faith, you might as
I'm
well.
looking at it, yeah.
You guys got that mask, or is that? Yeah, we all
It's
got
on franchise, right?
And if you go to the Purge of Heresy, there's a chance that we get pushed toward assassins and curses from other faiths. If we go down to the gobble godly aspects, it tends to be a little less personal. I would like to avoid the assassins and curses myself, since those can be flung from all over the world. If we gobble up godly aspects, we're going to only just foster rioting, or there's going to be a backlash to that, or we're going to have to purge the heresy anyway from it.
Or
if you
we're
see the way the
challenged
arrows
to
are.
triumph.
Or we could be pushed back to a challenge and triumph.
All right, there we go. We go
Okay,
to
we try to gobble up
godly aspects. Start the religious
gobble up
wars.
godly aspect. Let's go to one. Since we have 20 minutes, I will indulge our curiosity on all this. We're going to go ahead and put down a cult, a misanthrope cult, and we're all going to take actions to escape a misanthrope cult. Our luck has been very good at the moment, so I'm sure it's going to turn bad here in the last couple of minutes. I go to Q&D misanthrope. And misanthropes and madmen, and all of us are going to go around the table and try to obtain our own result of success and escape. I start with Tony. Tony, here comes your card. How about a 5?
A 5.
Well, at least there's no
A
bane.
5 says he may not be holding a sword. Regardless, make sure he can't point his wand properly. Fail and all players suffer shaken. Oh, you're welcome. If the character is skilled duelist, I am. The difficulty reduces by 3. Difficulty 12, make that a 9. Advantage, swagger, C sword arm, which I already used, so I'm 3 dice of a 9.
3 dice of a 9. Are everyone shaking?
I can try to make that. You know what? Maybe I should roll 2 dice and make it Locketed Glorious. Yeah, let's do that.
That's what Tony would do. I don't think
oh, there you go. There you go. You're not
locked as glorious. It comes over to me. We're all trying to obtain our own escape out of this table. Or I believe there is a success in enemy magic neutralize. That as well will. No, in fact, that's the one we're looking for. We're all trying to obtain that. I go on to my card of a force card. What are there major tarots for these flare guys? No, I think they use.
There is in the table, right, with the inverted. Starts with gain experience from winning.
The
chat.
Gain experience from winning. Each time the player rolls successfully at each difficulty in the battle, he gains a shared command pip, thus potentially. So I think that's the major tarot for personal combat, which will work. So, and it is inverted. Gain experience from winning. Each time the player rolls successfully in an event, he will gain the ability of the command pip. I will count that as my action, though. And anyone who rolls the ability is going to gain the command pip for us. I go to Rusty. Rusty, your card to get off the table is a 6.
Not a bane?
No.
Spasms. Let's see. Tingle all over. Spasm as your muscles convulse and course with electricity. Fail and suffer a vicious wound.
Yikes. You
sure this is not a bane? Regardless.
They are all banes.
Regardless, suffer shaken penalty. I can't win. Okay, Flair, strange insight.
That's why he likes the Banes.
Awards the character Voltaic N. Okay, Voltaic N. All right. If the character is trait bold, I am. The difficulty reduces by 3. Difficulty 12, so a 9. Advantage, grit, fortitude. Let's see.
Rugged, I believe.
It's under rugged, and I do have grit fortitude. Okay, so I'm looking for 9 3 dice.
9 and 3 dice to avoid the wound.
Just barely.
Just barely, but you also picked up a Voltaic. Do you have that locked as glorious?
Let's see. Voltaic is already locked as glorious.
You can't be any more lightning bolt man than you are. I go to Conrad.
I can't go to lucid or impetuous, right? I can't go to Mount Blade?
No, that's just a flare we're using with Tony because he doesn't want any wizardry techniques.
Okay.
But Emperor for Conrad.
A command pip.
Emperor's always good, I'm pretty sure. Gain a random blade swagger if you already had the virtue.
We also have the command pip because Rusty made his roll.
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
So roll me a 20-sider. I can do that for you if you wish.
And
see which blade I pick up. 1 is
A, of course.
A is an apple. Beautiful. No, it's blade, right? I have an ingenious blade. It is currently checked as glorious.
Okay.
So I gain no benefit from that.
And we move on to the next player. Laura, you got the command pip if you need it. How about a knave? Misanthrope knave.
Sorry. It says selecting player discovers that the blade actually contains the spirit of an heroic ancestor or legendary warlock. Name the weapon. If the weapon has an even number of letters, good for you. If it's benign. If it has an odd number, beware. The weapon seeks to swap your soul into the metal and release the other guy. So I need to give it a name, huh?
That's if it already has the swaggering.
Yeah, it says it's okay. I have it as glorious. So
what? Give me a color and give me a country in the world, and then that will be the name of your blade until we refine it a little bit. Okay, random color. Gray and a country of the world.
Let's go with Norway.
How about Burkina Faso instead?
Gray Norway. And is that even or odd number of letters?
I'll have to count that.
Odd.
It sounds
Do you count the space?
Even.
Or you count both gray as well and the space.
Gray is 4 and Norway is 6. Right, so it's 10.
It's an even number. And what does it say under the table? An even number or an odd number?
If it's even number, good for you. If it's benign, it has an odd number, beware the weapon seeks to swap your swole.
All right, so the Gray Norway, and you may name that anything you want now.
Okay.
Just for the test, we call it the Gray Norway. So your blade, whatever you want to name it, has is trying to corrupt you. So just keep that as a character note. You can check growth from that. I go on to Laura. Laura, you got that Knave of Swords. Go ahead.
Truly no sane person would use these darkest spells ever imagined. Demon stuff, of a kind elder races forget or hope to exterminate all who dare use. Fail and suffer a vicious wound. Flair, strange insight awards the character was Wizardry Demonic F, which I don't have. If the character is trait gifted, nope, that's the one I'm not. And so the difficulty does not decrease for me. Difficulty 10, advantage skill Delver, which I don't have because I'm not gifted. So I'm hoping the command pip will be useful here. Difficulty 10 on 2, or 8 on 2 dice, I guess, with the command pip.
Not a wasted pip.
You get the command pip, but you
got
roll
to roll
three
times. So
yeah, roll three times to see if you do better, Laura, so that Mike has the command pip.
Oh,
But the roll that gave the command pip was every time a character succeeds on a roll, no one's failed a roll yet, right?
That's true. So
every successful roll generates a command
every
pip.
successful roll is just generating command pip for the next person down the line. So Laura's given Mike the command pip. We go to Mike. Mike, here's your action. Laura's still on the table. A 5, Mike.
demonic.
5.
And I picked up
He
demonic.
may not be holding a sword. Regardless, make sure he can't point his wand properly. Fail and all players suffer shaken penalty. If the character is skilled duelist, which I am, the difficulty reduces by 3. Difficulty 12, advantage, Swagger sees sword arm. So the difficulty is a 9. I do not have Swagger sees sword arm. I'm going to go ahead and use my energetic bonus to activate the Fury Pip
Okay.
to give myself another +2. So I am looking for a 7 on 2 dice. Since I've got a command pip, I'm really looking for a 5, but I'll try to go for that 7. A 10, so that continues generating a command pip. That no shaken, and I get a swaggering technique.
Of Sea Sword Arm?
Yep.
Okay, I go to Greg. Greg, here comes your flip. How about an ace?
An ace.
And aces are always good.
Ace misanthropes. He's out of his skull. Feverish or mad with pain. He needs care, not aggression. Success in enemy magic use is neutralized. Fail and no, he does not. He does need killing. Rep may decide that success also means the wizard's senses have returned. Whatever evil possesses him has been banished. He may action negotiator thank players, yet only if he was acting by himself. There may be another battle to finish against the acolytes and petitioners who lost their Swami Death Guru. Flair, this event may only happen once a battle. If the first flip results in a failed roll, the next time the status is revealed, treat it instead as king. If the character is skilled pugilist, the difficulty reduces by 3. Difficulty 10, advantage, skilled barber, semi.
It's barber surgeon.
Oh, hang on. Let me go look at my character.
That's under farmer, rugged. For the
That's
skill.
a success, though, if he succeeds, right?
Well, it would be a success for him, but I'm going to also interpret the flair here in that we're going to make another hero who's going to support Glittner and Rostov, which is really nice, and then we're going to reduce this to cultists, and cultists we can eliminate with 1 good roll.
Well,
So,
the good
yes.
the good news is I am a pugilist.
Okay, so that makes you're going to go down by 3.
What was the other one? Barber?
A
I have
barber.
not a barber. No.
So a 7 on 2 dice.
But you've also got a command pip, so you need a 5.
A 5 on 2 dice, and we have and we've attracted a misanthrope to help us.
Oh!
I am level 5.
Whoa!
There you go.
He got a second roll. I think was the reaction was a little bit
Conrad,
was dramatic.
It's
but,
okay. It's okay.
Greg, what is the name of this misanthrope? This cult leader?
I gotta name him?
Sure,
Oh, yeah.
you can call him Dennis, but I mean,
Bartlett.
What was that?
you can
Bartlett.
call him Dennis, but I mean,
For me.
it's your chance. So go ahead and type something in the chat before we come around to you, so that I can mark it down on my character sheet. I'm on my records. Tony,
All right.
trying to get out of the table.
Okay.
Aces count as kings. Tony, a queen for you.
Big queen.
But we're on the cultist table now.
Oh,
Not
it's on the
the,
No.
No.
He made the. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Yes, I was thinking he had the 4, not the 14. Go ahead and take a cultist
All
queen.
right, here we go. The ground soaked by the cult and acrid food, your segment's covered nostrils begin to burn. Fail and suffer vicious wound. Regardless, any magic is use is neutralized. If the character's skill, or if the character lacks berserker, I don't know if I'm berserker or not. It increases by 5. Difficulty 8. Trait rugged. Well, I am rugged. Am I a berserker? I am a berserker. Of course I am. Okay. So 3 dice of an 8. There you go. 3 dice of an 8. Enemy.
And that is successful, and that actually knocks the cult out as well. Dominic, the misanthrope, has joined us in Rostov, and that would be 851. That's enough gameplay for one evening for us exhausted old men and ladies, and we will be